The Pat McAfee Show.
There will be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we could talk about.
Yes, speaking his mind.
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
While being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, beautiful people. It is Overreaction Monday, December 20th. Merry Christmas. Let's have an incredible day. Yeah! Week 15 NFL Sunday has finished, and I'll tell you what, although we have 2 games left today and 2 games left tomorrow, and Week 15 is the longest week that we have had this season, there is a lot to chatter about. What teams are dead? What teams are alive? Who's thriving? Who's just surviving? And who's going to be dying? In the meantime, what teams are really primed to make a run? Is it the Indianapolis Colts or the San Francisco 49ers or any other team that could be very, very hot at the moment? What team is going to maybe die off and see their season come to an end much sooner than they could have ever imagined? What the fuck was going on with the Buccaneers last night? It's really late into the season for that to be happening for them, and there's so much more that we need to break down and chat about. To do so, I got all the boys here. The Toxic Table, at Ty Schmidt, at Boston Connor. Let's start with you, Ty. Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers yesterday looked like an absolute assassin. That one ball he threw in between triple coverage to old cousin MVS. It looked as if he threw it and even put a little tail on it to bend back in there. The son of a bitch played a fade into a perfect throw. Looks like he's on top of his game. The defense, although Huntley Huntley, hell of a go.
Wow. He's a great player.
Huntley's going to get picked up.
Good quarterback.
People are going to be getting after Huntley this offseason, especially with the fact that allegedly this draft class of quarterbacks isn't that great. So look for the veteran quarterback market to be big, is what has been told to us by all the people in the know. Huntley appears to be one of those. Mark Andrews, absolute stud. Should have maybe double covered him a little bit earlier, but that guy is a guy. Congrats to the Ravens having an incredible game. Looks like Lamar Jackson's going to be back soon, I think. I don't know. He was standing on the sideline clapping, being a great teammate, but inevitably in the end, the Green Bay Packers get a win because Harbaugh goes for 2 and loses by 1. And instead of extending the game at home against the Packers, he goes for 1 play. They obviously don't get it. The Green Bay Packers now kings of the castle, especially what happened to the Cardinals. I mean, we'll talk about that. Congrats to Detroit.
Welcome to Detroit.
But that Green Bay Packers squad right now, it seems like a good time to be a Packers fan. I mean, people are going to get healthy as well. Aaron Jones making big plays. A.J. Dillon's making big-time plays. Lazard had now an incredible anytime touchdown score. I don't know how they didn't connect.
I know.
I didn't know how they didn't connect. But that team on the defensive side, here we go. The Packers primed for another playoff push here, Ty.
Yeah, rounding into form. I mean, what else can you say about Raj? But it is nice because he did say after the game that it doesn't happen very often anymore where he'll throw a pass and like kind of smile on the inside and be like, oh, that was fucking awesome. And that's how he felt after that MVS pass. Like, he can still put it anywhere.
So he did. So we'll ask him tomorrow. I think he purposefully had that ball turned back. Because there's a way you can turn it and spin it and everything like that. He's shaping his throw like Angelina Jolie did.
In Wanted.
With that gun.
With the bullet.
You know what I mean? Like these golfers do with the
top 10 reference.
Thank you so much, dude. That's what this show does. At Ton Diggs, obviously.
You're off this week, too.
Hey, we're ready to go. We're off Thursday, Friday, but I feel good about it. I feel like he potentially did that. That is why I posted a video of it and didn't say much. All he said was, hey.
What else can you say?
What can? That's the throw. That's the type of throw that Aaron Rodgers can make that no other player could ever make. Right now, granted, there's been guys who have incredibly talented arms. I don't think that is being questioned. There are other guys that are very, very good, and I don't think Aaron Rodgers would ever come out and say, "Hey, I'm the greatest thrower of the ball that there has ever been," because he can't. He by far is.
He is.
He misses some people, and it's like, oh my God. By the way, he missed one early. He missed one late.
Yep.
And everybody is Aaron Rodgers broke almost at this point. The guy has 0 interceptions in his last 13 touchdowns he's thrown in the last 4 games post-COVID. Did Dr. Joe Rogan create the fucking greatest quarterback of all time? I don't know if that's not being talked about there, because I know we love stats and everything. We absolutely love. Here's some stats. Last 4 games for Aaron Rodgers: 70% completion, 1,301 yards, 13 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 127.7 rating. The Packers have clinched a playoff berth with an 11-3 record, the best in the NFL. They're like one of the only teams that have clinched a playoff spot, because the AFC still a big-ass question mark. There's a lot that's going to be determined over the next 2 days, including this Browns game, which could be a big deal for the AFC North. But who knows who's playing in that game, who's not playing in that game. The stats tell me, though, if you're a quarterback in the NFL and you go to Dr. Joe Rogan and then you play afterwards, you're fucking unbelievable.
Yeah, look out.
Then you're shaping throws. That's the stat. That's just one. We'll continue to do the research, but that's something we should keep an eye on there. The analytics have been called into question mightily this weekend. And at Boston, Connor, I don't want to dive into the Colts beating the hell out of the Patriots.
Sure.
At home.
Me neither.
I don't want to talk about it.
No.
You were there.
That's right, I
It was
was.
loud. That place was electrifying.
Wow.
You guys couldn't handle it. Mac Jones had no idea. He played Alabama. He's played all around the SEC. Yeah. This dude has played in the NFL, never rattled ever. He comes into Lucas Oil Stadium, the Lighthouse. He comes into Indianapolis, Indiana, a team who has a fan base who has so many scars on their heart from the evil empire that is New England.
Truly.
And so many fans in that building had no idea who the fuck Mac Jones was until draft night, and they found out that Bill Belichick got another one potentially. They didn't even know this dude existed. They were so pumped to let him know, you are not welcome here.
Not at all.
Yeah. There is no Patriots welcome. They were loud. They were incredible. You were there. Was there a moment where you're like, oh shit, this is the turning of the tide of this entire rivalry? And although it will continue to carry, Jonathan Taylor said, let me put this fucking thing on my back, though. And is the 3 of the top 5 fastest speeds in the NFL this season documented. Jonathan Taylor on long-ass runs to seal the game. Are you worried about the AFC running through Jonathan Taylor and running through the loud house that is Lucas Oil Stadium that Mac Jones and the boys couldn't handle on Saturday?
Not even a little, Pat. I'm not even smallly concerned with the fact. Yeah, that's right. Smallly concerned with the fact that there's an AFC finalist banner in the rafters.
You saw it live.
You know, it's okay. I will say I gained a lot of respect for Colts fans as a whole, because that place was incredible. Like one of the better environments across the board, all sports, that I think I've ever witnessed live. When Jonathan Taylor broke through the line of scrimmage at the end of the game, I sat down immediately, and probably the loudest pop of the entire night was when he was just gone. I didn't see the
22 miles an hour.
Oh, man, he was
Holy
flying.
shit, there's somebody speeding in a school zone to clinch this game against the team we hate the most. Think about, and Saturday night too? Oh, so we don't got work tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, oh, yeah.
Hey, there's no farm to get to tomorrow morning.
Not at all.
There is no office job that I have to fake like I like here in Indiana.
Nope.
There is nothing going on tomorrow except for us watching every other team that we're inevitably going to beat in the playoffs. That is the sound that you heard at Lucas Oil Stadium. And I think Jim Irsay should get on that guitar.
Oh, yeah.
And feel it all the way down in his bones.
That's right.
And he should tell Commish, we want Saturday nights every night. We want Saturday nights every single time.
It's incredible.
That we're only playing on Saturday nights from now on. I mean, Indiana, great college football team. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Purdue, great college football team.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
But I just think that there should be an exemption for Indianapolis Colts. Saturday night games only in this city will show up in a big way, and we're going to win the next 10 Super Bowls probably if that's the case.
Yeah, well, we'll see, because they had no business being in the game, the Patriots, and somehow they made it close. I mean, we're in offsides on a missed field goal away from that game being 17-17, and Wentz having to throw the ball more than 12 times, only had 5 completions. So I understand the Colts definitely, they're a good football team. They got the offensive line. They got Jonathan Taylor. The biggest thing is Darius Leonard is a freak of nature. Watching him play football is awesome, even when you're losing.
Yes, because when a play is being made that he's not involved in, he's celebrating his teammate from wherever the hell he is, dancing, losing his mind, yelling. Here are his stats from this season, Darius Leonard. He has 100-plus tackles, 5 forced fumbles, 3 fumble recovers, 3 interceptions, and an absolute leader of the defense that is flying around right now. Defensive Player of the Year conversation should be had. Now, after this past weekend, TJ Watt is is obviously going to be talked about, and they're already pushing for him to be the overall MVP. And Darius Leonard needs to be in the Defensive Player of the Year conversation. He's changing the game. I understand the Peanut Tillman for the Chicago Bears had the punch out. I understand that a lot. Just like everything in the history of anything. Do you remember how they used to throw footballs back in the day?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, shot putting them. They were terrible. Then somebody developed, it was like a soccer, and then it was like a chess thing. They still do it on Dr. Pepper tuition thing.
That's right.
And then people evolved and evolved and evolved. Just like kicking, people have evolved. Shooting at basketball, you evolved. The peanut punch was awesome. Darius Butler has evolved this thing into a completely different stratosphere. The way he uses it, how often he uses it. I'm not sure Peanut Tillman used it for every single tackle.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure he did. I think he was opportunistic. He was very good at it, and he brought a light on it. I'm not 100% sure. I wish I would have watched more film. Every single tackle Darius Leonard's in on, you think a turnover's coming.
Yep.
It's awesome. He changes games. He absolutely is electrifying, and he's fun to watch. And that's why I'm going to say the Colts are going to go, dude. Hey, Colts are going to go.
Yeah.
Billy Belichick was going to stop Jonathan Taylor, right?
Well, I thought he was. But then we found out it was the worst week of practice in the history of the New England Patriots franchise.
What's that all about? Is that because they're scared of Quentin Nelson?
What?
How about Ryan Kelly not able to go because of family things going on? T's and P's of Ryan Kelly went through something similar. You're the absolute man. Somebody else comes in there. That offensive line is just moving bodies. Yeah. And then that comes a week after, Quentin Nelson, or 2 weeks after Quentin Nelson went up to Frank Reich and said, hey, can we just have a called run in there? JT's getting a little hungry. And what Quentin Nelson meant there to Frank Reich is, hey, we're ready to fucking debo some people.
Run the fucking ball.
Which leads me to this then. When I watched that clip back, and then I saw another clip where Carson said something, I think, to T.Y. Hilton, where he referenced our stats or something like that. And he was like, Jonathan Taylor, it's tough to get any stats. I think Carson was trying to console T.Y. or whatever. And this is in a mic'd up on Hard Knocks or something like that. And T.Y. was like, hey, I do not care. He actually went over to Frank and was like, do not feel obligated to get me the ball. If we're going to do this whole thing. And then Carson in that Tampa game, in which he was throwing well, whenever you hear Quentin Nelson say, can we get some called runs? That would mean Carson was checking out of any runs, like, hey, no checkouts there. I wonder how Carson, is dealing with the fact that this team goes as that dude behind him goes.
Yeah.
And as that offensive line goes. He's not the only one, by the way. There's a lot of teams that are starting to get back into the run game. The run game is going to be what matters in the playoffs deep. That's why the Buffalo Bills got a big-time win over the kickerless Carolina Panthers.
Yeah. Huge.
Which it's so easy to kick a ball.
Yeah, okay.
Best athletes on earth. Look at them try to do it. It's impossible. I understand it's not as physically tasking as every other position in football. Okay, I would never say that, but it's not easy. So fucking enough with the easy talk. Okay, it's not an easy thing to do. It's actually, very minute, the success level, because of how small everything is. It's like golf, but much harder because you're using your goddamn foot instead of your hands. But like the Bills, we don't know if they can stop the run game. We have no idea if they can play big boy bully ball, and that is now becoming a thing for both sides of the NFC and the AFC. Whenever you talk about the Colts, they can bully folks. They're going to want to bully folks. They're going to have to bully folks. And that's why I think it's a chance Colts go superb out.
Yeah, I mean,
Colts might go the superb out.
Maybe.
This was a big time game. I have a lot of respect for the Patriots.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of respect for the Patriots. And I thought to myself, if old William Belichick
That's right.
is going to be able to stop this Colts offense, it's going to have to change my narrative that this Colts team can't go on a run. Because if Bill Belichick can do it, you're going to have to run into him at some point, or you're going to have to run into somebody. And that offensive line, now there was a couple big-time plays that obviously have skewed the stats a bit. And Kyle Van Noy with a little bit of cheap shot, okay?
Oh, Kyle Van Noy.
Kyle Van Noy with a little fucking cheap shot.
Come on.
I mean, hey. Kyle Van Noy needs to not do the cheap shots that he's doing right there.
Was he pushing referees, Pat, or was that the
Well,
guys on your team?
T.Y. didn't know that was a ref.
Oh, okay.
T.Y. didn't know that was a ref. Did you see how hard that ref was pushing him in there? I mean, he didn't know that was a ref. But anyways, the stats were skewed because of that long pop, but that can happen at any time with Jonathan Taylor. That is our team.
Yeah.
That's not like a highlight. That is our team. I feel like the Colts might be able to go on a goddamn run. But let's speak about the AFC North, in which it is hot in the kitchen. Tone Diggs, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Get a gift from the football gods that didn't come until the second half. Because the Titans come out and they say, hey, listen, let's dance on this fucking logo. That's right. And all anybody wanted to talk about was the Ravens beating the Titans in the playoffs because the Titans stepped on. The game that the Titans dance on the Ravens logo, they beat the Ravens that game.
That's right.
They dance on the Ravens logo, beat the Ravens, and Vrabel actually told Harbaugh, hey, shut the fuck up. I'll punch you right in the mouth.
Yep.
Whenever Harbaugh was like, this is disrespectful or whatever, Vrabel said, hey, you just coach your team, all right? So Vrabel almost acknowledged, like, hey, I'm okay with what our boys are doing here. Then they get a win. It's like, ooh, that is tough for that Ravens squad. Then football gods say, hey, don't worry, we got you. Lamar, you'll get your first playoff win, actually, whenever this comes back around on Titans. And to Marcus Peters' credit, he gets a pick to win that game, immediately runs to the Titans logo. How you doing? Keep it moving. Get the fuck out of the playoffs, dude. It was a beautiful depiction of shit talk and the irony that can come with the universe whenever you put yourself out there, do something that is considered disrespectful, and then not back it up or back it up. It was perfect. It was actually one of my favorite stories of the year last year. That whole thing. Now the Titans come into Pittsburgh and do this. And I thought to myself, I'm like, whoa. Because if you go back in time, Titans, they used to dance on the terrible towel.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been a lot of things that the Titans have done to Pittsburgh. And for whatever reason, I don't know if the football gods blessed Pittsburgh with, you know, an incredible organization, obviously, and everything like that. But, like, the weather is terrible, okay? It is a lot of miserable environments in Pittsburgh.
Sure.
It's a lot of grit. It's a lot of heart. I think the football gods realize that. And they say, hey, you do not just walk in here, and what do? You on the fucking steel mills, dude?
No.
You come in here and start dancing on the steel mills, the backbone of our entire country. Hey, our city is the Motor City. We get everybody. Where's the fucking steel come from, pal? All right? We are your dads. We are the tough city in Pittsburgh is what Pittsburgh is. This is what the football god said. And this is not me. This is what the football god said. So when Tennessee decides to do a little juju on the beat on the Titan or on the Steelers logo, the football gods were sleeping, maybe napping for that first half. It did not look good. Actually, the guy that led the entire thing, standing right in the middle of the logo, he was having a great game, actually. But second half, I mean, T.J. Watt broke through two people holding him like it was nothing. Cam Hayward started making plays. All of a sudden, Naj starts seeing the field a little bit better. Chris Boswell absolutely lights it up. The Steelers do not win pretty. Get a big-time win over the Titans, who are at the top of the AFC still. You got to feel pretty good, Tone.
You talk about the first half and the second half. Interesting stat. The Steelers have scored the same amount of points in quarters 1 through 3 that they have in the fourth quarter this entire season.
Damn.
They decided they don't want to play football until the fourth quarter. And you talk about the football gods, okay? And the Titans, they do this to the Ravens and they do this to the Steelers because they think they're tough and they know the Steelers and Ravens are tough and that's who they want to be, but they never will be those two teams, okay? Because they're the Titans.
Whoa. It doesn't matter that Vrabel is literally.
Well, that's fine.
Vrabel's
tough. I love Vrabel, but there's just something in the water down there. It's just never going to happen, okay, boys? You can have Derrick Henry, you could have the big O line, you could do what you want. It's just never going to happen.
Oh, you're talking about because you can walk down the street and see a concert from Carrie Underwood.
Yeah.
And then walk out and go right across the road and see, here's Chase Rice singing this thing and one of the best. In Pittsburgh, you have all the same bars, but the people that are singing are CFO Phil and Tone Diggs.
Yeah, Billy Gardell.
Okay, Billy Gardell.
Damn right.
You're saying things a little bit too nice in Nashville.
A little bit too nice,
all right? That's funny.
The football gods. Thank you, football gods.
How about T.J. Watt?
TJ
gods.
Watt, Cam, Minka, Joe Hayden, huge tackle, shout out.
What? All right, let's talk about the end of that game there.
Okay.
Joe Hayden with that big-time tackle. So I put a video out yesterday on my Twitter basically to remind myself how I want to feel about that situation today as it was happening in live time, in real time. And I'd say, and people don't know that my tweets on Sunday are literally just
notes.
Like, hey, this is notes for graphics for today. The end of the game, the hit by Joe Hayden, incredible self-awareness. Knowing exactly where the sticks are, being able to deliver a blow like that, especially out of a corner, not that Joe Hayden would be ever considered like not a guy that would come make that hit, but just a perfect hit at the perfect time for a play that needed to be made for the Pittsburgh Steelers, whose season is inevitably a massive question mark because nobody has a clue what the fuck's going to happen because you don't know what team is going to come. So huge play by Joe Hayden. The refs, though, okay? Steelers, no timeouts. Under a minute, under 2 minutes, it goes to review in New York or up top. Whoever up top is that in the building or is that in New York? We still don't know. I don't think that's been clarified. Is it some games it's in stadium, some games it's in New York? Who knows? So the refs live have to make a spot for forward progress. And if we ever notice, the refs are always a little bit more lenient, I think, on that forward progress than any of us would be as fans.
Oh, yeah.
But then as they show the instant replay, it's like, oh, I could see how that ball is hitting them in the body at that spot or whatever. So live, old side judge has to spot it, puts it down. Oh shit, this is a first down all of a sudden on a fourth down play under 2 minutes. This has to be reviewed upstairs. Pittsburgh has no timeouts. They can't even stop this and say, whoa, let's see if there's more of that. So they call a first down, I think, initially.
Yeah, they did.
They call a first down initially because on their first look spot, they're like, yeah, it's a first down. Then somebody got in their ear. It was like, whoa, we do not know if that's a first down. So then they stop it and they go, the on-field ref goes, oh, we got to measure it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So then they measure it with the same spot that they gave live with the eye, and it was not short. But there was somebody in their ear saying, hey, we just watched it. Okay, 20 million people just watched the review. Although it was close, they are short. Much shorter than what the measurement is looking like right here. So just go ahead and just say, hey, they didn't make it, and let's just move on. Instead, it wasn't that. It was massive question marks. So it was like, wait, that ball being spotted there is a first down. It's not a first down. Now we have to measure it. Wait, if we're measuring it off of where that spot is, that's there. I just wish the ref would have came out and actually said, it was under 2 minutes. Okay, so all reviews have to go up top. Pittsburgh had no timeouts because they spent them earlier doing dumb shit.
Yep.
Okay? From our eye, it looked like he maybe got it. I understand in slow-mo, it was obviously short, but in our eye, it was there. Our job is to spot that ball and get out of the way, especially with what was on the line at the time. So we try to spot it, and in our ear, somebody came in, Walt Anderson, don't know if you've heard of him, not the best ref on the field, but now he's in charge of everything, and he told us that via 4K super slow-mo review, the ball was clearly short. It is now the Steelers' ball, and they're going to win. Thank you for your time. And then blows the whistle, does this whole thing, and then they start the game. Because that is just a clusterfuck in which you got a chance to kind of spotlight the inadequacies of the entire review process. Because it had certain rules that had to be followed, which all kind of ended up stepping on top of each other in a massive moment in a game with a lot of playoff implications on them. So I just think, as we continue to evolve with the technology, we'd be doing the refs on the field a massive favor if we allowed them to be a little bit more transparent, or we're a little bit more transparent in the entire process. But what do I know? I don't know shit about fuck.
Yeah, the fact that it took that long and they brought out why are you even bringing out the change
in 2021? First of all,
and placing the ball right there, and then fucking Tannehill's on the ground staring it's you have oh my god,
20 million people just saw it.
Yeah.
20. The ref should have just came on and said, listen, our spot was wrong. The situation was interesting, obviously, with a lot happening. They didn't make the first down. We're being told, could the stadium operator run the review on this thing? Yeah, they're short. Okay, you guys are shut the fuck up, Tannehill. All right, you guys were short. Let's go. I wish that was able to happen, just because I think it'd be more efficient. People would be more understanding of it, and it would cut out all of the means for well, why'd they do this? They didn't do that. They didn't do that. Well, you just explain it. Now, I'm not saying every ref should be cutting promos after things, but in that type of situation, just being like, we just heard that it is not close. We apologize. First down, Steelers. This game's about over. Good luck out there.
It almost ruined Ben going underneath the stadium after he snuck for a touchdown in his last Sunday game in Hines, and talking to the football gods. He said, hey, normal God, I normally talk to you. I talk to you a lot, but I need to talk to football gods right now. I need some help here today. I need this one. And he came back out, and he led them to victory, obviously.
That was weird, wasn't it?
Awesome.
A little bit.
No, I think it was awesome that he went down there, especially after his rushing touchdown. Probably his last one. Probably his last one, right? And in Pittsburgh, maybe that's his last Sunday game in Hines?
Yeah, the only one left in Hines is Monday night against the Brats.
So that's his last Sunday in Hines. That's cool that in the middle of the game he has his moment, I mean, blurry photo. Could we not get a little better photo on that entire thing, maybe?
I don't know why he had to put sweatpants on.
Yeah, what are we
Because the
cold,
steps
dude.
are cold.
Well, no.
Well, I mean,
Sideline's cold, too.
Yeah, that too.
So we're talking about a tough, gritty team. So
yeah.
Well, it's Ben
Still
Roethlisberger.
seven.
Ben Roethlisberger is just Ben Roethlisberger.
we're cold. I mean, come on. What are we talking about?
Ben,
Just sit on the
he's
damn
Big
crowd.
Ben, but he's got skinny legs. So.
Well, and also Big Ben isn't necessarily, he doesn't share all of the same qualities as the people of Pittsburgh, but his toughness on a football field has earned a lot of people, everybody's respect, basically.
Okay. Just checking because I wasn't really sure about the sweatpants.
Not a lot of
either.
Pittsburgh people are going to Miami, Ohio, or whatever.
Fair.
Sure.
You know what I mean? All that, it's like super. I think that's like a super.
Oh, is it?
Well, Ben also
so. I
he
think
loves
so.
to watch the defense. He doesn't sit on the heated benches ever, so he wears.
Yeah, he stands up and watches his team. Claps. Let's go. He has a baseball cap on.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Turns into coach. He had a great fade, by the way. I don't know. They took his hat off at one point. Great fade. Fucking great fade.
He got ready for that
good.
game. He knew.
I'm happy for him. Let's
Thank
talk
you, Ben.
about what happened to Buccaneers, dude.
Was
Was that the worst football game we've ever seen?
By far.
I mean, congratulations to both defenses, all right?
Yeah. Good game.
Flying around.
Punters, too.
Loved watching, literally, Pinion, incredible couple. Gunner plays, Gillikin getting the first down on a rough and celebrating, but also hitting bombs. I enjoyed, obviously, watching the special teams do their thing. And anytime a defense can just suffocate an offense, I think I enjoy watching that. With that being said, I don't know if I can do that after a bunch of good games and then it's late into the night. That was tough to watch that game. Now, I did watch the rest of it this morning when I woke up, classic DVR situation. That game, good on the Saints, dude.
Yeah.
No head coach, obviously. Taysom Hill, quarterback who has mallet finger, who's talking. He dropped the ball in the bucket to Callaway yesterday early in that thing. I'm like, wow, this guy's unbelievable. He said he's in the middle of a process where a few weeks his finger will be cured. But I was just like, he's in the middle of maybe not a few weeks, maybe a few months or whatever. But it sounded much differently than the treatment that Russell Wilson got for the same type of injury. Now, Russell's a much different quarterback than Taysom Hill, obviously. Taysom only had like 3-4 designed runs, though. I think he was sitting back in the pocket throwing it a lot. Didn't have as much success, obviously, as they would have with Drew Brees playing quarterback. Shout out to Drew being the only one on Football Night in America picking the Saints to win. Way to go, Drew.
Hey, good pick, Drew.
Way to go. Who dat he set out there. But Tom Brady hasn't been shut out since 2006. That's a long, long time ago. In that offense, started to see some success. I really thought that run to the right with Ronald Jones with the pull and garden and getting outside, I thought that was going to be the thing. Crack down Gronk, have him take the end, pull it. They were seeing massive success, and Ronald Jones can hit that thing. We don't get to see him as much because Fournette has been fantastic. He gets hurt. Godwin gets hurt. Mike Evans gets hurt. It felt like, what could go wrong did go wrong for the Buccaneers, but they were still seeing success. I don't know why they got away from it. I don't know what's going on. It is late in the season for a team that is that veteran heavy to be having this type of shit happen. But once again, just like any type of loss that happens, this could be something that they needed. This could be something that they have to make their changes, final stretch changes. And also, they're going to be in it regardless of what happened yesterday. But what a fucking terrible game to watch last night.
Yeah, start to finish, too, because Brady threw a pick, I think, on their first possession. It was like, what the hell is going on? But, I mean, they need to get AB back. Even with Godwin and Evans.
Oh, he's going to be on the team, by the way.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy to me that people are acting surprised that Antonio Brown's going to be on the goddamn team. What are we? That was when it first happened, and Bruce Arians didn't cut him then. Everybody thought he was going to wait for the 3-week suspension and then cut Antonio Brown. I don't understand. I don't understand how that happened. Now, you can be completely pissed off about what Antonio Brown did, okay? I understand that you can be. Believe me, I've seen the people that are pissed off about everything happening on the internet with all that. But wasn't it pretty clear that he wasn't cutting Antonio Brown 3 weeks ago? And then now that, especially with Evans and Godwin and Fournette hurt potentially, who knows how long all these guys are out, now they're thinking he was going to cut him after he served his 3-week suspension. So they were going to keep him on the team during the 3-week suspension. And then afterwards, they're going to say, you know what? Icing on a cake. Don't think you've been punished enough. Actually, you're fucking fired, dude.
Whoa.
That's what they thought was. I don't understand. There was a lot of people, and I have a lot of respect for Florio, okay, Pro Football Talk. He's a West Virginia guy. He's from the area. He's been very nice to us, come on the show and everything like that. I didn't fully understand that entire angle that he thought that they were going to cut him, though. And I think he was kind of pushing that.
There's a lot of people whose horses wouldn't fit through that door that they're riding in, who would like to see anything COVID related if you don't follow the exact rules to be banished from the NFL and never to return again.
Well, okay, there is maybe a couple of that. There is maybe that. And maybe that is something that I'm not paying attention to enough because I am too dumb to, but that might be the case. And maybe, maybe Antonio Brown getting cut then. Now, I just don't. I thought it was very apparent when they didn't cut him immediately that was not going to happen, but maybe it was as the world continues to turn and we learn more, the less we know. Joining us now is a guy who has inside information everywhere. And you can't spell comedian without this man's first name.
That's right.
Ladies and gentlemen, host of the weekly wrap-up with Rap Sheet and Friends, although today is Monday, giving us a breakdown of what happened yesterday, who's hurt moving forward, and also what COVID problem is potentially going to pop up for today and tomorrow's game. Ladies and gentlemen, Ian Rappaport.
Yeah,
How you doing, guys? Hey, 2 games tonight. I know you're on TV a lot. I see the ties undone. Let's dive right into this, though. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know you're a very, very busy man. Any yesterday injuries? We'll start with the Bucs because we were just talking about them. Godwin, Evans, Fournette, anybody else? And is there any other noted injuries yesterday that we can kind of clear the table on this morning or this afternoon?
Okay. Yes. So, by the way, it's funny. Like, we did our thing last Thursday, and it feels like that was 5 news cycles ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, that was many, like, memos ago, many announcements ago, it was a lot. Anyway.
Hey, way to go.
Hey, baby, rap sheet.
Hey, way to get through a rap sheet. You know, you're in your – it's December football.
That's right.
It's December Ian Rappaport, you know what I mean?
I mean, look, I think everyone knows you do your best reporting in December. That's kind of really when it counts. That's what I try to do, even though people maybe sometimes pay less attention because they're dealing with their families and holidays. But anyway, so injuries. We'll start with Chris Godwin. So it sounds like an MCL sprain, like a pretty significant one, you know, and generally these are 3 or so week injuries, the kind that I believe he has. Now he's still waiting on the results of the MRI as of like a couple minutes ago, but from my understanding, he is likely done for the rest of the regular season, but should be able to return for the playoffs, which, like, any good team now, any team that doesn't have to win, almost all of their injuries are done for the regular season and back for the playoffs. So this is good and probably what it should be for the Bucs.
Okay. Is there the Tom Brady going over to the sideline telling him to go fuck yourself? What's that for? Is that because of the injuries?
I don't know what led to that. I'm going to be interested to see. We usually get the fines on Friday or Saturday. I'll be very curious to see if Brady is given a taunting fine. You know, it's only $6,000 or something like that, but like we've seen much less things be fined for taunting than Tom Brady.
Well, yeah.
What Tom Brady did, which, you know, that is not a very nice thing to say to a coach, just stand there on the sidelines minding his own business. I'm sure that coach said nothing to Brady the whole time. So I'll be curious to see if he gets fined. Okay, let's talk about some of the scary moments of yesterday. Teddy Bridgewater, he was cleared out of the hospital. That was a very scary. Obviously, there was a few others. Is there any notable injuries that we should keep an eye on here? Yes. Okay, Bridgewater, he is in the NFL's concussion protocol. So it's a second concussion this year. It's hard to know how any player is going to react to any specific concussion, but it looked serious. Now, he's moving all his extremities. He's doing well. So, like, I think physically he's fine. But it feels like a situation where he probably won't play this week. So then you say, you know, for a team that's still very much in the playoff mix, probably likely Drew Lock for the Broncos. So that'll be just, I mean, you hate for it to happen at Bridgewater, but it also just will be kind of interesting to see how Lock, who got beaten out in training camp by Bridgewater, to see how he responds. Some of the other Bucs injuries are at least worth watching. Okay. Mike Evans, hamstring, doesn't sound like a major deal. You know, may not miss a game, probably going to be okay, not major. Levante David has sounds like a foot sprain. Still waiting to see the results of that. And then Mike Evans, the other one. No, Leonard Fournette's the other one, right. Leonard Fournette, the other one. He might miss a game or two with a hamstring that's probably a little more significant than Mike Evans, but I think he's going to be okay and probably back certainly for the playoffs. Okay, how about Freiermuth? Looked like he maybe got 2 in one play there. Was that that was the most scary thing I saw of the day, because it looked like he was out on his feet, and then he got another one, and I think that is when they start talking about actual real life. Holy shit, you get multiple concussions in a short span. I heard he walked off the field. Do we think he's just in the protocol? Did he go to the hospital? What's up with him? He is in the protocol. I did not hear that he went to the hospital. One of the weirdest things about concussions is that, like, it's really hard to tell what a concussion actually happens. Like, there's plenty of times you see a guy kind of get hit head on hard, and you're like, that's nothing, and then hit in the side of the head and it's a concussion. It's tough to know. So I don't know what actually led to the concussion, but I do know he was quickly ruled out in the protocol. We'll see how he responds. I mean, another one where, like, I would be a little surprised if he plays this week, but sometimes players respond from what looks like really serious hits and end up being completely fine.
Yeah, McNichols, I think, in the first half down by
On
the goal line, he
yeah.
was like out, and then he was back in the entire second half, like featured. I'm like, holy shit.
And totally fine.
Yeah, because sometimes it's a stinger where their arm just loses, full range of motion for whatever. Something gets pinched, and it's like, oh, that looks like that's a concussion. That's why that independent doctor is a very fascinating position. Go ahead, Tom.
My source told me that Muth is doing well, and he actually drove home from the game. So
Fire
Hey.
move. Hey, boots on the ground, Ian. That's called reporting, dude. Why don't you try to do it? Thank you, Tony.
Yeah,
Thank you, Tony.
I will say that's a good source and that's a good story, but like somebody couldn't jump in the car with him?
Oh,
I mean, I don't know what that person does.
Hey, shut up,
I didn't say he
Ian.
drove home by himself.
Shut up. He probably had family in there. Just
Jeez.
relax, Ian. Jeez Louise, dude. Let's talk about today's games. Obviously, Stefanski, Baker, and I think also Case Keenum did not test out of the protocols. Okay, is this the new phase? Is this where we're at now? We're targeting testing now more, right? The NFLPA and the NFL were able to agree upon not testing vaccinated, fully boosted players unless they start getting sick. Is that something that I'm accurate on? And how did they reach that agreement? I assume there was a lot of give and take in that entire thing.
There was a lot of discussion. First of all, on the Browns, so Baker is out because he didn't clear today. Keenum is out because he didn't clear today. Stefanski is still up in the air because he could still clear and he could still end up coaching.
What's that mean?
I'm not sure. What's that?
So they can test 5 times a day. What's that mean? Baker took all 5 and couldn't get a negative, and now Stefanski's only been 3 in, 4 in. And he's looking for his 5th.
I don't think it's that many, but I just know Baker and Keenum were not clear in time to announce it. Basically, there's a 2 p.m. finale transaction. Like when transactions have to be in for players, but coaches aren't under the same rules, so theoretically he could test later. So I don't know that he actually coaches, but I'm just saying he hasn't officially been ruled out yet like those other guys.
So they're just swabbing the shit out of Stefanski's. They're like, hey, listen, let's go. Come on, let's go.
I mean, I assume he's just sitting there and has someone in his nose for 5 straight hours.
Because he's vaccinated.
That's not confirmed, though.
Hey, because he's vaccinated, boosted, and had COVID before. So is he the reason why the NFL and the NFLPA were able to come to terms and an agreement, or is this happening with players as well? What do you think?
So the numbers are so interesting because you have a lot of players on the COVID list, more than 100 players as of last check. 80% have either no symptoms or mild symptoms among the vaccinated players. So, and the NFL talks to a lot of experts. They do all their due diligence. They have all the conversations. And it seemed like what it came down to was people starting to be like, if no one's sick, and not knowing, if not a lot of people are sick, then how much does it make sense to treat this like it was 2 years ago? Like if the virus has changed, if the Omicron has changed things so much where it's way more transmittable but much milder, what actually is it? And so this was part of the conversation with the NFL and the NFLPA was the NFL wanted to say, if you are fully vaccinated and asymptomatic, are you actually sick even though you test positive? And what they came down on is you do not need to test if you are asymptomatic and vaccinated. Only if you have symptoms do you need to test. And so they ramped up the symptom screening, like, you're a little stuffy, how's your throat, like feeling some chills, like that kind of stuff. And then, but if you have no symptoms, then basically like it's not worth testing, I believe, is the general viewpoint.
Okay, Ian. Now, we've been talking about this for, the back half of last week. We were, once we saw 75 people, then 100, 200, 300 people were on the COVID thing, and the NFL was just so happened to be meeting in Irving, Texas at the time, and there is, the most important football game still ahead with what we were hearing about the asymptomatic. That's now the big question is how do they find out if somebody's asymptomatic or not, or are they going to tell guys to just say you have no symptoms, or is it every day you walk into the building, the NFLPA is forcing the NFL to test everybody to see if they're asymptomatic? Like, how are they going to be able to handle that? Is it an independent person saying somebody's asymptomatic or symptomatic? That's an entire fucking thing, I bet now.
No, I think it's more just players need to be honest, and which everybody sort of rolls their eyes, but it took a little bit. But players have been, I think, pretty honest about concussions, right? I mean, we've had several situations where in key moments or for key players leading up to key games, they have said, I do not feel right. Like, there's no toughness, I think, in toughing out a concussion, which I think players realize, and they've been pretty good about saying, I don't feel good, this is not right, check me out. And so I hope that viewpoint, that whatever has led players to make sure that health is important, I hope that does the same here, because the reality is, if you hide symptoms, you're kind of just screwing your teammates.
Yeah.
Because someone's going to get it, and that's just, you want to be, and they're going to trace it back to you. Like, you want to be the dude who caused the whole outbreak? Like, that's not that cool.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think especially in this situation, so that, because if you mess it up, you mess it up for everybody. And speaking of messing it up for everybody, it's like there's a ripple effect to everything that happens. And with the NFL agreeing to do this, there's already old Stevie Eiserman up there at the Red Wings coming out and talking about the NHL.
I wondered about that.
Yeah, so we talked about this, I think, last week, you and I. Like, if the NFL does this, this is going to change everything for everybody, because this is the first league, the biggest league on earth, with the most people with eyeballs on them, doctors, media, Congress, government is watching and seeing what the NFL is doing. Them rolling back protocols on testing fully vaccinated players and staff, that's going to have a ripple effect everywhere. That's going to change a lot of things everywhere, I think. I think we all understand that, I think.
I think so, too. And the NFL, it doesn't exist in a vacuum. And there's a reason that the leagues kind of like talk to each other. And there's a reason that it's good to have good relationships with the NBA or Major League Baseball, whatever. So they have been talking to all these different sports. They've been talking to the NBA to be like, here's what we're doing. Now the NBA has not got on board yet, but if the NFL is successful, like, I wouldn't be surprised if the NBA does it. I wouldn't be surprised if baseball does it. And then, of course, selfishly, like, we all live in communities. Like, I'm really interested to see, do the schools do this? Because the NFL is talking to the CDC. At some point, when you sort of realize that the threat to vaccinated people is not nearly as much as it was like a year and a half ago, does the world go, you know what? Like, we should look at this differently too.
Everybody in the CDC saying if you get the vaccine, we'll let you free. Dumbest show of all time. We appreciate you, Ian. Good luck today. Is there any injuries in that Bears-Vikings game that we should keep an eye on?
Yes, there is Adam Thielen, who has not practiced at all in a high ankle. Feels to me like a long shot. My esteemed colleague Tom Pelissero says he has a legitimate shot and is going to work out before the game, so we'll see who's smarter there. My guess is me, but we'll see.
Wow. Shots fired.
And then, just being honest, and then Roquan, I believe it's a hamstring. I don't know what the actual injury is, but he's another one who's questionable. And then Sean Desai, the Bears defensive coordinator, he comes off the COVID list. So he will call plays on defense. I know no one has heard of him. He's actually a very good defensive coordinator.
Boys are going to be buzzing. All right, we appreciate you, Ian. We'll talk to you. We're off on Thursday, Friday. Maybe Wednesday?
Wednesday's good. I'll be around.
All right, you're the man. Ladies and gentlemen, Ian Rappaport. Thank you. Hey.
Here
we go.
Great news.
For the whole world, yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's the whole world. This is potentially changing the conversation now. This may be a push for inside the NFL for the people that aren't vaccinated yet. Nah, they're not at this point going to change it.
Yeah, you never know, though. I mean, if it really is like, hey, if you get vaccinated and you don't have to deal with any of this bullshit anymore, it's only if you have the sniffles, then you have to test. Maybe some guys will be like, all right, fuck it, I don't want to do this every day anymore.
Isn't it very interesting that they're saying that the players will report it?
Oh, yeah.
The guy who's 49th on the roster, who is just trying to get into a game, I'm sure he'll come in and, I think I got Omicron.
I'm not feeling right.
You guys want to sit me out for 10 days? Actually, we'll just come to an agreement to get you out of here.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Anytime it's on the honor code, you got to hope that it happens. We obviously all wish that that'll happen. I mean, that is the fairy tale land, and we hope that our society once becomes that, and I hope I'm alive to see it.
Absolutely.
I hope I'm alive to see it. But in reality, there's going to always be a little bit of, I'm fucked if I tell anybody about anything else. Yeah, that's just the way it goes. But this is going to send ripple effects through the entire world. Can't wait to chat about that and more on the other side of this 4-minute break, where we will also go around the internet on the hashtag PMS. I don't want to overreact, but on this Overreaction Monday, we appreciate you all. beat the Pats, huh? At home, what? Got a little sketchy there at the end, but Jonathan Taylor takes it to the house. What? Let's go, dude. Don't win a Super Bowl. Fucking A, dude. Let's go. All right, so this is for me to remember for tomorrow, all right? A lot of my tweets are just like, hey, Pat, remember this situation. Joe Hayden just made a fucking massive hit / tackle, okay? On the field, though, it was spotted in a position where it was a potential first down, okay? No timeouts for the Steelers to say, hey, no, go look at that, because under 2 minutes, the review has to come from the top. So I think the refs were told in their ears, like, hey, no. The spot is nowhere near the first down. We just saw the video, but you're in a position where you already spotted it. Now you're calling for a measurement. It doesn't need a measurement. What it needed was a review, and it's not fucking there. So that's kind of how it all happened. You know, once again, has to be a quicker process, more transparent. Let the ref just say, we had it spotted wrong. We thought it was a first down. There's no timeouts. Things are happening quick. Turns out the whole world just saw a fucking replay. It was close, but it was definitely short because Joe Hayden made a huge play. You know, just like that. Boom. And congrats to the Steelers on winning a game. Like, the ref should do all that stuff. Personally, maybe. We'll see. The Jacksonville Duval Jaguars are dead. And I think that is something that is a shame. But we should at least have a moment of silence, I guess, for the Urban Meyer-led Jacksonville Jaguar squad. He chose one time not to fly back home with the team after a loss. Said, I gotta see the grandbabies. That's right. The only babies he saw were those young ladies at the shop house that week. Couple players. Devil. He had to answer a lot of questions about that, but then he got back on track and started coaching football.
Oh, yeah. Forget about the fingers.
And they won. They won a game in London. How'd they win? It's because they forgot about the fingers.
That's right.
And then they came back to America. And they lose. And they lose. And they lose. And they lose. And anonymous sources say, this guy fucking stinks. He's laughed out of meeting rooms. Everybody wants to smack him in the mouth.
Attitude reflect leadership, Captain.
Have a little mirror therapy, pal.
A little bit.
You stink.
You guys ever get yourself one of these? I didn't think so, you losers.
Hey, this one from high school. This one from college. And this one right here, middle fingers open for the NFL. If any of you would stop fucking me over.
Goddamn right.
That's what we're trying to get. Hey, you, defense coordinator.
What's that?
You got any of these?
No, I don't. I don't.
That's why I thought you're a fucking loser.
I'm sorry.
You need to stop by the job. Anyways, they're dead. Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show here on Overreaction Monday, December 20th. Pretty good beat, huh?
Yeah, what's this?
What an awesome day it is. We got 2 NFL games today.
What?
2 NFL games tomorrow.
What?
And although the Super Boost did not hit yesterday, hit on Saturday in Indiana only.
Yeah, it did.
That's right.
Colts money line. Go ahead and boost that thing up. What?
What?
Beat the shit out of the Patriots.
Wow, wow.
Well, Kyle Van Noy's out there giving cheap shots.
Shoving guys in the back.
That's the
Cheap
football
shots.
gods. That's the football gods saying, hey, Van Noy.
No.
Can't have.
I thought that guy was friend of the program.
The football gods, if anything, said, hey, if you don't want to practice, if you don't want to, after a bye week, come in and get back to work, you're going to get your asses beat on Saturday night in Indianapolis.
You're saying that's what Bill Belichick's led Patriots did?
That's what Mac Jones said. That's what Bill said. Bill said, hey, we didn't coach well, we didn't play well, we didn't do anything well.
Do you think, and once again, this is chess, all right?
Of course.
Everybody knows I'm a checkers player myself. Bill Belichick, noted closed Sicilian chess player.
Right.
Master.
Grandmaster.
what if he was thinking, like, well, let's just play like half of our shit this game because we're potentially going to have to run into them later.
Maybe.
And if they win, that's what they'll say, by the way. And there will be some Do Your Job documentary that'll come out that'll be from an interview from this past week where Bill's, let's not give them everything, because we're going to have to play them later in the season. And they'll be like, of course this guy! Let Jonathan Taylor break open from 22-mile-an-hour, 70-yard touchdown to put this thing away under 2 minutes. No timeouts in New England. You go down, whatever the case is. What if that is what happened? I choose not to believe it.
Sure.
But the Colts going to win the Super Bowl. That's my overreaction. Let's get to some overreactions from around the Twitter. Hashtag PMS, I don't want to overreact, but was alive and well on Twitter this morning. I made the bird call for it. It became a top 5 trend, I think, within like 15 minutes.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much for participating.
Twitter didn't bury it.
Oh, like they did FanDuel is glorious yesterday. Hey, I don't know who the new Jack is, but you need to go jack off, pal.
That's right.
All right. And then they had the hashtag FanDuel is glorious spelled wrong trending alongside Packers -7.
What's that?
Hey, come on. We're doing a giveaway around here, new Jack.
Come on.
They saw our new deal and said, oh, isn't
Wait
that
a
fucking
minute.
interesting?
Oh, wow.
Isn't that interesting? I think Twitter should be pumped. A lot of, mainly, my only reason for success in this particular avenue has been because of my Twitter account. So Twitter should own that and be happy about that. But instead,
the people.
Nah, that's not how Twitter operates anymore.
I guess not.
They're trying to bury us out there.
Yeah.
We've only given away a few $100,000 and hundreds of shirts through that thing every single Sunday.
Love Twitter.
By the way, Mitt has to go through all those.
Yeah.
That stinks for him. I wonder how that's going. I should probably check up on that more. I see how much money's leaving our account.
So they're,
I see him doing it every week, and he also, I believe, has used it to his betting advantage. He said he just looks at what everyone's picking and goes on the opposite.
Yeah, because he's realized that in that thing, the opposite, the ones that aren't really hammered aren't winning. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like Packers -7 was trending
Yeah.
because of the hashtag FanDuel is glorious contest that was happening on Twitter, and they did not.
Nope.
They did not. I had alternate spread 3.5. They did not.
No.
They did not,
Yeah,
by the way.
2.5.
Yeah, you had alternate 2.5.
I'm at 4.5.
In the Super Boost, by the way, the Buccaneers get shut out. I mean, what do you want from us?
Yeah.
What's that about?
Tonight we have a Super Boost.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's for the first game there with the Browns. Full Chubb, anytime Tud, +140 or something like that. Boosted from +105 to +140. They said, hey, sorry about last night. Gumpy could have never known that the Buccaneers are going to be the Succaneers yet again in Week 15 of the NFL. What are we doing?
Come
Did
on.
they say it like smug like? Did they?
They kind of, they gave like, real shame. Sportsbook hit yesterday.
Yeah, they did.
I mean, do you know how many parlays were murdered, decimated by the kneecap Osingba touchdown. Kabinda.
Jason Kabinda.
Kabinda touchdown catching Detroit Lions, dude.
Yeah.
They killed every parlay that any human had. You have Cardinals money line just to throw it in there as like okay, here we go. No matter how you felt about the spread, what the Cardinals were going to do, I thought they were going to bounce back, be a team. They looked a lot like last year's Cardinals all of a sudden on the road against Detroit, but Detroit played unbelievable.
Perfect game by Detroit.
They played
absolutely perfect.
And Jared Goff at the end says, hey, why don't we win the next 3, boys?
That's right.
Why not?
And
Why
then
not
win
them?
10 next year and then win a playoff game.
MCDC's got the boys buzzing up there in Detroit.
Coach of the year.
Play hard for him.
100% coach of the year.
But anyways, that ruined so many parlays.
Oh, yeah.
Because none of us knew that MCDC had the boys buzzing in there.
No.
I saw Kelvin Shepard, former teammate of mine. I think he's with the linebackers over there. I saw him on the sideline getting hyped. Then whenever I saw Deuce Staley, I think, was celebrating in there. Antoine Randall was in there. I think that was in there. I saw the sideline. I'm like, this team, is the living embodiment of what every player says. If I get a team, I'm going to bring all my guys that I think are really good, and they're going to come in here, and we're going to have the respect of the locker room, and we're going to go to work. And they didn't look like that for a long time. They looked terrible at football.
Oh, yeah.
Terrible.
Bad at football. That locker room after yesterday's win over the Cardinals, which is the number 1 team in the NFL at the time, was fucking electrifying. Good for MCDC and good for Detroit, dude.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely.
I'm so happy. I actually didn't know how to react to that win. Because you get up a lot of points. We're up 17-0. My favorite bet in the world is to take Cardinals money line in that situation. The Lions made 0 mistakes.
Man, good for the Lions. Good for the sports books, too. Yeah, good for FanDuel. That Chubb Tud tonight, though, is boosted to +140 at FanDuel. It's our boost. We hope it hits. We need to get hot. It has been tough. I'm gonna let you know, it has been a tough year to gamble, but we're going to continue to do that with our lives every day.
Hell yeah.
Life's a gamble. Let's win them all. All right, now we're off radio. Let's get to the Let's get to the overreaction. Here's from Betting Machine at Mars Bets.
Oh,
Yeah.
machine.
Hey, this dude, he puts out bets at such a rapid rate that nobody thinks he's real. He gets, whenever they say, what are these letters so they can tell you're not a bot all the time.
Sure.
Yep.
Because of how machinery-esque he is.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Fucking Mars, dude.
Mars bets. Cash and slips.
Last name Mars, first name Marshall.
Joe Mars.
This is Joe Mars.
I think so.
Joe the Machine Mars.
Yes.
Hey, fucking Joseph Mars, dude. He's been running the book since he was 12.
Yeah.
At Mars Bets is a machine. Joey Franchise is putting Ohio on his back like A.J. Hawk did in 2005. Bengals are back and winning the AFC North. Hashtag PMS. I don't want to overreact, but hey, listen, Mars, good call, cuz. And good bets in that thing. The way Joey B operates, I love. I absolutely love it. Teddy Bridgewater has that very scary injury. Drew Lock comes in, they score a touchdown. It seems like all momentum on earth is on the Broncos. Like, here we go, let's ride, especially with everything that's happened the last couple weeks over there. First throw, Boyd, 60-yard touchdown, fucking dagger to the heart.
Yep.
We ain't doing this. This ain't it. I love his moxie. I love the it factor he has. He has good chutzpah.
Yeah.
What's that mean?
He's just got it.
Yeah,
He's got it.
Okay.
He's got good. He's got. I knew it meant something in the sound of that. He's got it though, and I love it. And it worries me. They're number one in the AFC North. Congrats to the Bengals.
He's very good. I wish Joe Burrow was on another team though, because in Cincinnati you're never going to win anything.
Whoa.
Tony.
They're number one in the AFC North right
That's
now.
right.
They just beat the Broncos on the road late in December.
Super Bowl though.
Oh, you're talking about is that a franchise that'll go on to win a Super Bowl? Even though they got studs. Trey Hendrickson, 23 of his last 28 games, he has a sack. Yeah. That's unfucking believable.
Unreal.
He wears no gloves. It's cold as hell. He's old school football player getting to the quarterback. Joey B and Jamar Chase and Boyd and Uzama and everybody else they have on that squad. I mean, let's go. They're going to – Mixon was a little banged up. He'll be back healthy. I mean, here we go.
Listen, if Marv couldn't get them a playoff W, you think Zach Taylor's going to get them a playoff W?
Yeah, that's
And
interesting.
every time on Monday we come in and something happens, whenever you see anything about the Bengals, it's not a lot of Joe Burrow. It's not a lot of anyone else. It's a lot of Zach Taylor fucking stinks, and we need to get this guy out of here. That's what people are saying.
That's not what Mars Bet says. Mars Bet says, hey, Joey Franchise, Ohio guy, has what it takes to lead the Cincinnati Bengals into some winning football later in the year. Who they deserves it.
Yeah.
That's right.
They do deserve
Get
it.
him in the playoffs.
Let's get him.
The hell?
What was that?
That was my computer. Just started playing music.
Tony has his watch talking in him. Like,
Yeah.
now his computer is talking in him.
I got a show watch now. I don't.
Oh.
I leave the
it looks
Apple Watch
good.
out there during the show, so we don't have that
Because
situation.
Diggs'
happen.
Siri gets a little chirpy.
Yeah, she
Say
does.
Sirianni.
Anytime we say Sirianni, fucking.
Yeah. I did not hear that. Let's go to the next overreaction, shall we? This is Daniel VG Bits DM
Wow.
at Orthosicus.
Okay.
Daniel freaks me out a little bit. What are VG bits? Do we know? Is
I
this
don't
like
know.
Twit bits or
I
it's,
think so.
Twitch bits?
I think
Very
it's something,
good bits.
Yeah, video game bits.
Oh, there it is.
So Daniel's slinging bits.
Hey,
dude.
DM me and I'll sell you some video game bits.
What are video game bits? Do we know?
I don't. I'm not quite sure.
Some code.
Let me get a little bit of this from Orthosicus. What's this dude's name? Daniel Orthosicus?
Yeah,
Feels
Danny
like it.
This is a
Orthosicus.
fake human, right? This feels like a fake human. Hey, Daniel, good on you, dude. We don't know what you do.
baby,
Looks like a stock photo.
Hashtag PMS, I don't want to overreact, but the Cowboys are intentionally sandbagging their offensive play calling so there won't be any decent film come playoff time. We just talked about this with Bill Belichick with the Colts. Dak Prescott, everybody's saying he's in a slump, he's in a slump, he's in a slump. I'm not 100% sure if he's in a slump or whatever the case is. They've made a lot of decisions time management-wise from the offensive coordinator side this season that make you think, what the hell's going on down there? Their defense, though.
Man.
Yesterday, unbelievable. Saquon looked like he was trying. Okay,
Yeah.
Saquon looked like he had a little bit of his burst again. That one-handed grip of the tip of the ball was filthy.
Yeah.
Nobody got a good shot of that either. It seems like they were Cowboy defense was around there. He looked like he was back. Backup running back did well. Cowboys defense obviously unbelievable. I think there was like 14 picks or something like that altogether from old Glennon handing the ball out to everybody. Jake Fromm, State Farm comes in.
Hell yeah.
Maybe he'll be a guy for the Giants going forward. But if you keep winning, which the Cowboys are. it's hard to kind of continue to nitpick. This is like the Chiefs.
Yeah.
The Chiefs have a 7-game win streak, and only conversation is, they're not really playing that good. It's like they're fucking winning, and the Cowboys are doing it. So could they look better? Yes. Do they have to win the Super Bowl? Absolutely. But if you're still winning games, especially in December, I think you should be pumped about it on Monday.
Yeah, and has Dak ever had a defense this good? You got to think that eventually, things will start clicking again. And they still scored 21 points. It's not like they scored, 15 and squeaked out a win.
Hey, it was windy across the NFL yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
I was watching a lot of guys hit bad balls, thinking to myself, thank God I don't fucking do that anymore.
Zane Gonzalez.
I was watching games where, punters, the ball was just, moving completely. I'm like, thank God I'm sitting here doing what I'm doing right now as opposed to that. What a nightmare. But that's December football.
That's right.
More overreaction to the week that was, with more analysis of the games that are coming in 35 seconds.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There'll be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we could talk about.
Speaking his mind
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
while being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat McAfee Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to that show. Hour 2 on this overreaction Monday, December 20th, 2021. Shall begin immediately following this beat drop from Twine. There it was. Here we go. The Cox the Table at Boston Connor at Ty Schmitter here. Tone Diggs is here, fresh off of a Pittsburgh Steeler win. Congrats to you, Tony. We hope it's all right. That was pretty scary. Looked like a kind of double boom pow. Speaking of boom pow, Jake Paul ends another fight with a massive right hand right to Woodley's face. Ear, head, night to the canvas. Congrats to Jake Paul on another win.
Congrats, Jake
had
Paul.
Rolexes on his shorts. He had a graphic rolling, scrolling digital feed on his shorts. He gave away Rolexes to everybody. The guy's swimming in it as an undefeated boxer. Congrats to him. And shout out to Woodley taking the fight.
Yeah.
Joining us now is a man who would never get knocked out, ever, because his face is built of marble. In Ohioan through and through, ladies and gentlemen, AJ Hawk. AJ, what's going on? Ohio guy, Jake Paul gets another win. Surprised?
I don't know. I think the fact that it was a knockout like this, face down, that was a bit of a surprise. Is Connor on the conspiracy train? I know a lot of people were trying to say this was fixed.
So I don't think Connor is because, Connor has respect, I think, for the training that has to go into this and the commitment to be a boxer. And I understand people are saying it's fixed. And if Tyron Woodley signed up to just get cold clock, knocked out, dead body, whatever, then more power to him. You know what I mean? I mean, more power to him if that is the case. But the move was awesome. Fake the body. Big shot to the head. Tommy Zibikowski was one of my teammates in Indianapolis, and he's noted great boxer. Sold out Madison Square Garden, won a championship, I think, while he was playing at Notre Dame still. I think now he's a firefighter, legend of a dude. We were at Buffalo Wild Wings training camp, and there was one of those punching things, and Zibby couldn't, help himself but get in there. We had a couple beers. I threw some. He taught me this thing where it's like a look to the body, left to the head. I think that is the next stage of advancement in boxing that Jake Paul took. Honestly, I think we're watching him get talented at boxing in different avenues. And I think that's why early you heard a lot of the boxing people hate it because maybe his technique in his first ever fucking fight in his first training wasn't as good as the other pros that are, in the same spotlight or whatever. But I think he is actually getting better and better and better. And I think he takes a lot of pride in that. I have no idea what the future holds. I know he's calling out Diaz, is it? Diaz? I believe Tommy Fury is still probably in line next with how much Tommy was on all of the merch. Maybe Masvidal. Who knows? But I fucking love it. I think it's great. And I flipped over to watch that thing. I saw Frank. Frank got tired out there.
Yeah, he did.
That was a good fight, though. I was impressed by both of them. Darren Williams looked a lot more polished than I thought he would.
Darren Williams, I thought handled it perfectly. If I wasn't so much in Frank Gore's corner, leading up. I think I would have had a lot more love for D. Will because we actually got a chance to meet him. He's very nice.
Good dude.
Very good guy and all that thing. But Frank Gore, teammate, here we go. Got to go. Couldn't go to the game, or couldn't go to the fight because there was originally 2 games scheduled. And I was like, I can't miss 2 games because this fight were one of the bigger NFL games or NFL shows around, and Colts Patriots was happening. He understood that. But watching him go out there, I was so pumped for him. And I think it was about 20 seconds left in the second round where it was like, oh, fuck, by Frank. So he played the game beautifully. Do you want a doctor to come check out your neck after getting pushed out? Absolutely. Doctor comes over, 47 seconds left, get a breather. The doctor checks his back. How are you? I'm good. Get the fuck off me. What are you even talking about? Like, all right, let's get back into that. I have the utmost respect for both of them, and I thought D. Will and Frank handled it awesome. D. Will saying, I ain't never doing this again. This was supposed to be just for fun. I am so tired. It was such an adrenaline dump. But I enjoy those events, man, a lot. It stinks that the NFL was the same day, but I enjoy those a lot.
Oh, yeah, I think it's great. It gets people watching it. If Jake Paul, where he goes from here, I have no idea. I think he's definitely getting better. And I've watched a lot of his, training things, and it looks like he's working hard. It looks like he's definitely getting better. For a dude that picked up boxing, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, I'd say he's doing pretty good.
Well, and they said he got a nutritionist. He's changed his body. This is the best in shape he's ever looked. And his brother, Logan, running around with a goddamn polo.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I love it. I love it all. Anyways, let's get to the football, AJ. All right, let's get to the football. Let's get to our bread and butter.
Hell yeah.
Hey, let's get to where our bread is butter.
That's right.
I was told that by another journalist the other day, about the show being where the bread is butter, and I couldn't agree with him more. Let's talk NFL. Aaron Rodgers. Hey, do you think he did that? Do you think he hit a fade on purpose on that ball? That he within triple coverage there to MVS? And if you watch the front angle of that throw, now, let alone the Packers get a bit, congrats to the Packers getting a win.
Huge win.
Congrats to Huntley. Hell of a player, man. Hey,
awesome.
Absolutely love it.
I give him a ton of credit.
Plays, yeah. I think so. I think the free agency market's going to be big for Huntley. I think this offseason is going to be awesome for him. He looked fast. He's player of the year, Gatorade in Florida, ended up at Utah. I mean, I learned a lot about him yesterday during that game. Good on him. Do you think, I'll get your take on the entire game, but do you think he did that on purpose where he fucking bent it seemed like around the guy, right into MVS, who ran an incredible route, incredible catch, obviously, but it looked like that ball just hit him out of nowhere. Did he fucking bend that on purpose, you think? No way, right?
Yeah,
no way.
I think he did. I think he threw a little bit of a slice into it. I think he, with his arm angle and everything about it, I would imagine that's something maybe that we'll ask him tomorrow, but maybe just messing around as a kid or even messing around, over the last 10, 15 years, he realized, oh, man, I can actually make this thing move like a driver.
I could shape shots a little bit because he loves golf, right? Loves golf. He's very good at golf. He does the Tahoe thing. He obviously won the match. He got hot. If you can start shaping shit. Now, whenever you're on the practice field and you're bored, for instance, kickers, that little chopper ball that we've seen come into existence since the rules have changed on onside kick. Kickers have done that in practice so many times to try to get the ball back into the bag. We've always had that type of thing to be able to do it, but to do it in a game and accurately execute it is unbelievable, and it's another thing. He's playing at a level right now, post Dr. Joe Rogan, AJ, that is so filthy. They might have to give him the MVP, and they are going to be so pissed off about it. You know that, AJ?
I know, and especially if he continues this the rest of the season, and we know Tom struggled yesterday. They were shut out. So what? Okay, good. You got the odds now. So now he and Tom are even, right? At plus 160.
Yeah, plus 160. Jonathan Taylor has made a move into it, and I love Jonathan Taylor's the reason why the Colts are back in the playoff conversation in a big way. Jonathan Taylor is the reason why the Colts were able to beat the Patriots in their other big games. Jonathan Taylor, if we would have relied on him more, we beat the Ravens earlier in the year probably. We beat the Bucks probably earlier this year. The record is much differently if we fed this dude as much as we could have earlier. And I think that is a valuable stat. But we all know it's a quarterback game. And what Aaron's doing is just fucking outrageous right now.
Yeah, he looks to be a bit unstoppable, no question. Like his presence, how much fun he's having. You always talk about how they're always zooming in on his face and his facial expressions, and he just looks so laid back. He looks so comfortable, and he makes it look easy. And it's one of the most difficult things to do in all of pro sports.
Well, and also, the special teams isn't helping.
No.
So he's going out there a ball on his own 10, his own 13. And I've heard some quarterbacks. I've gotten a chance to hang out with people that most punters and kickers don't get to hang around, And I've asked, some positions, more specifically quarterbacks, like, hey, why what's the deal with you guys in kickers and punt? What's the deal? He's like, you know what it's like to jog on the field with the starting position at fucking like the 9 or the 8? You know how miserable that is? Like, hey, special teams, let's just get a fucking touchback and let's get out there. Like, I'm not saying that was any one quarterback in particular, but it feels like that is kind of the overall narrative. Like, hey, listen, I understand special teams is a big part of this, but whenever you're getting in the way almost, and it feels like that is, special teams should be an asset to your team, can't be a detriment to your team. Can't be the reason.
Just don't lose it for us.
Can't
Like
lose.
offensive guys are probably saying, hey, our special teams, just don't lose us the game.
Like if you have some weapons at returner, and you have guys that can block well, and if you have a good kicker or punter, and you can do some shit, let's be an asset. But mostly, hey, let's just be sound. Like, hey, let's
do our job. Let's not muff anything. Let's not fumble. Let's not turn the ball over when we shouldn't. Yeah, don't hit the punter or something and give them an extra first down.
No penalties in a return game that bring you back inside the 10. None of this. Let's not let up big returns so the defense has to fucking defend a short field. Like, those are the things. Like, let's just be sound. And if you're sound, by the way, you're great. Like, if you're sound, you're great. If you can do anything else, great. But when he's jogging out on the field and that ball is getting spotted at like the 12 after a kickoff, I'm zooming in on his face just because every other quarterback I've ever met, I think is like, these motherfuckers. You know what I mean? Like, you got to be kidding. If this ball just goes out of the back of the end zone, we're on the fucking 25 right now. But instead, we're right here at like the 12, the 10, making this incredibly difficult. And he, to your point, he had his hands in his jersey, and I think he was just like, whatever the case is, it does not matter. What this Baltimore's known to be a good defense. That was not the case. And it's been like that with Aaron the past couple weeks, right? Like they get down or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like Aaron, every single series that Green Bay has, it is expected for them to score. And if Aaron misses one early and they have to punt, that's like, oh shit, is this the game where he's lost it? It's like every series he is expected to score at this point. And if he doesn't, it's like mind-boggling. Like, what happened? How they had to punt? What the fuck is wrong with the Green Bay Packers? And it feels like it's because Aaron just doesn't give a damn about anything.
That's part of it. I hate to cut you off, but that's absolutely part of like his body language, how cool and collected he always is. Like when he's just sitting back there kind of in the back of the huddle waiting for the call to come in. Like, trust me, the defenders see that. Like, man, what do we got to do to rattle this dude? Like, no matter what you do, you can't rattle him. And I think that takes its toll, especially on some young defenders, too. They may be in a little bit in awe of playing against guys like that, too. So it's all part of it. And then he comes out and seems to not make any mistakes. And he threads the ball in so many different windows where a lot of guys can't do it. That just breaks your back defensively. And I think that adds up over time. But the Ravens could have won that game.
The Ravens certainly could have won that game. Incredible play by Huntley, and it does blow your back out whenever you see a quarterback like that if you're on the defensive side of it. But I think also for his teamates, AJ. You know,
that's the biggest thing. Yeah. Everybody, not just the offense, but the defensive players watching too. They're like, "Hey, he's got us." Like, we know
coaches
we do anything.
Coaches too. Like even LaFleur. Like if you see Aaron just like, hey, I need that again or whatever. Like LaFleur's like, okay, here we go. And if Aaron's like, let's just chill here. Let's just call a timeout. Like it sets the tone for every single person on his team. Like, hey, there's no worries, and that's why I think everybody that's talking that. I think we all respect it. It's like, this dude's the most valuable motherfucker on this team. Like, this dude is the MVP right now. If we were great roster. Packers have a great roster. Okay, let's not, hey, good, way to go, good.
Hey, baby, good.
But that whole thing goes because of how Aaron goes. You know?
Of course.
Like,
I mean, it's very obvious. Yeah. The dude is, he's absolutely special in what he can do mentally, physically, and his body language, his posture. I heard some golfers, like pro golfers, were talking about that, what they learned from Tiger, and they were saying like, hey, even if I'm not playing great, you still got to think about having like good body language, a good posture for other guys that are walking down the other fairways, looking over like, oh, how's he doing? Even if your score's not great, you can't be slumped over and mad and pissed off because then they think they can strike.
Hey, your vibe's a real one. Your vibe is a real thing. Like when you walk into a room, how you leave a room, how you're in a room, that says almost more about you to everybody than anything else. And when it looks like Aaron is just, what's going on? Like he literally is that. It's fine.
Also,
I'm fine.
Didn't you think
everything's fine, guy?
In the moment, didn't you think watching that game when they were going for 2 with 42 seconds? I was like, it doesn't matter. Even if you get it, they have a timeout in 42 seconds. They will definitely. Aaron will get them into field goal range. He may score a touchdown. Like you may want to just kick this one and try to take it to overtime.
Let's give Huntley some love. He did score with 40-some seconds left, but let's give Huntley his love. He is owed it, as is Mark Andrews. Hell of a fucking player.
That catch.
The dive to his left. Full extension, by the way, fingertips. I think they locked him down for a couple years, and I enjoyed watching Lamar on the side. I think genuine happiness for Huntley from Lamar, which in that situation, he obviously has to do that, but it felt very real because it seems like Huntley is a guy that has been overlooked, and I think everybody realizes that. Like, hey, this guy is a guy. I'm excited to see where he ends up. Let's bounce. Ty. Packers going to win the Super Bowl this year or no?
I think so. I mean, I don't know. Like we talk about the special teams, and it's the same thing every week. Like, and it just seems like eventually that is going to bite them in the ass, but up to this point, like Rodgers is good enough to overcome that. Like, they suck and they haven't completely lost a game
what
for
is
the
that
Packers.
all about?
I told you last week, like, I don't think it was on the show, and I was kind of joking around, but I really don't. It doesn't look like they practice anything special teams wise all week. It legitimately doesn't. Like, it makes no sense. It's like
maybe they shouldn't.
I mean, I don't know. And we talk about, like, firing the guy. Like, what's that going to do? If you fire your special teams coordinator at this point in the season, like, is a different guy coming in really going to do anything? I mean, the Packers are one of these teams where we always talk about it. Like, their top end is so good, but they don't have these guys down at the bottom of the roster that can really make an impact on special teams.
The roster construction is certainly a fascinating one over there for the special teams. You just got to hope that you have a couple guys in key positions that can kind of do it. And it appears as if they do not.
Well, and
A
that's
couple guys that can be your coach for you. Another coach like Slater is, and New England, like, that brings everybody along with him. That's huge, I think.
You're signing guys on Thursday and Friday to be in a position they've never been in before on a punt team or a kickoff team. And not only can the coach have to show everything and, hey, this is our strategy and this is how we'll have success, but you need teammates, like, on the field at the time saying, like, hey, I'm going, you're getting the – you know what I mean? If this guy comes, you're going here, you're going there. Like, that's a big deal. And I don't know if they have that over there. Going to have to find some leadership in the special teams department because that'll lose you a game in the playoffs.
Oh, yeah. And that'll
fucking kill you.
That's what's worrisome. Is like it was a couple weeks ago, but Lazard went up to LaFleur and was like, "Hey, put me in on special teams. Like, I'll go do it." And then
Aaron Jones is in there last night, I think.
He was returning a kickoff, I think. Yeah, and then also, like, they're saying, "Hey, Rasul Douglas might have to be all hands on deck." And then you worry about, like, okay, these guys have to fill in on special teams. And you get hurt, and then it's like, okay, now you're losing one of your best cornerbacks as well. So we'll see. But obviously the Bucs losing and the Cardinals losing, like, that certainly doesn't hurt. I think if it goes through Lambeau, they have a very good shot at going to the Super Bowl.
Let's talk about another team in the NFC that is bullying people. All right, hey, they are bullying people. And one of the people
Can you win the playoffs?
Huh?
Can you win the playoffs completing 5 passes?
Who?
He knows.
Are you talking about the Colts?
No.
No, I'm not.
You said NFC. Okay, my bad.
But Jesus. Well, Jonathan Taylor,
like,
we can. But
I love the Colts. I absolutely love the Colts. I just hope you can. I hope Carson, like, at some point, Carson's going to have to win games for him.
Okay, I mean, I don't think so.
And I'm not knocking him at all.
He'll have to make a throw. He'll have to make a throw.
But they block a punt for a touchdown too,
Exactly.
though. Like, they have to. Like, I just want to make sure they don't have to do, like, extraordinary things to win playoffs.
Listen, Carson's going to have to make a throw or two in a crucial point. All right, that's going to come.
He will, and he can. I know that.
Well, he can. He can. Will he? I'm excited to see. I think so. I like that he's fighting Judon. Okay, I like that he's doing that. Yeah. We block another punt against the Patriots. Okay, here we go. They had him rattled in Lucas Oil. Here we go. We have picks early. Here we go. It really felt like everything was going right for the Indianapolis Colts, other than, I guess, the fact in your eyes, Carson didn't throw the ball enough. Get the fuck out of here, dude.
He didn't have to. I'm not knocking it. Stop being so defensive of your old squad, man. I'm giving him a compliment here. I'm saying in the playoffs, I would assume you're probably going to have to complete more than 5 balls to win a game.
I will assume you will have to throw the ball. But Jonathan Taylor's an absolute guy. I said that I was going to talk about.
He's a real MVP candidate, I think. Absolutely.
Yep.
And by the way, we talked about this earlier. With the games that we lost, we either didn't give him the ball or we stopped giving him the ball. And then the games that we won, guess what? We gave him the ball. And we have won, and we've completely turned around the entire season. He's faster than everybody. 3 of the top 5 speeds that StatThat has caught or checked this year. Did you see those commercials, by the way?
Oh, yeah.
StatThat. You got people signing StatThat.
Jesus.
StatThat, dude.
StatThat.
This is
StatThat.
commercial on TV.
What the hell is this?
Amazon. StatThat, dude.
StatThat.
Hey, dog. StatThat.
Okay.
Oh, I got to find this.
Oh, it's on. It's on a lot. And the stats community, I think, is like, yeah. StatThat. Let's StatThat. They're kind of making their own thing. Shout out to the stats community, by the way. Every weekend, stats community is on.
these 2-point conversions.
I was either going to say a high horse or the chopping block.
Yeah.
Because it is one or the other. You know what I mean? There's no in-between ground on the stats community. There's either we're smarter than you and we know it, or there's the we hate you and why are you in the game? And that is kind of how the internet is. I'm not declaring either side because I, just like everybody else, feels the exact same way that stats are very important. It's nice to know the stats. I like... in blackjack, I like to know the stats. I like in anything, I like to know the stats. But that's not the only thing that's making a decision, which I think is how the world is supposed to go, although some people are 100% stat that people because that gives them an ability to sleep at night because the numbers said that I should do this. The numbers said I should hit on this 16 even though a face card or a 10 has not come in some time because the dealer is showing a made hand already. But you eat the 10 and it's like, but in your head, the book told me I'm supposed to do that, so it's okay. That has made its way into the NFL. How do you feel about the stat people being pissed off at Harbaugh for not going for 2 on the first touchdown instead of going for 2 on the second touchdown? Because if you go for 2 on the first one, you get it. Then you can make your decision on the second one. You don't get it, then you know you got to go for it on the second one. What happens if you don't get both of them? You're out of the game. You fucking lose the game that you should have sent to overtime and maybe won.
That's what I was thinking at the same time. Well, what if we don't get both of them? Then cool. Like all this work for nothing, I feel like.
Is there a stat that says, hey, you might not get either of these? And by the way, stats don't care about your goddamn feelings or your job security. You know what I mean? So
their argument is what? Hey, if we go for 2 twice, like we have a very good chance of getting one of them at least.
Yes, stat that says.
Unless you don't.
Well, stat that doesn't
like
say
that's
that.
stat that. Of the times you do, AJ.
Yeah, because there's a chance you could fall in. Whoa, what was that?
Depends on the play call, depends on the defense you're playing, all that.
Yeah, it depends on the day, depends on the wind, depends like how stat that deep do we get into the stat that's? You know what I mean? Like, and I think you're seeing a lot of football fans get very frustrated with the bullshits of the stat that.
Did you see that? You see on that last play, the 2-point play though? Was it? I don't know what your receiver was running the end line. He was pretty open.
Oh, wide open. I think it was Brown.
And by the way. Stat that will tell you that on some of those 2-point conversions, there are guys that are open. I love it. I enjoy it. I like coaches that can, take in all the information and make the best decision for their team at the time. But it feels like you can never win with the stats community. And also the stats community can never win with some people.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Because people think isn't it all like black or white? It's either you use it or you don't. They don't think like, I don't know. Do the stats people think you still like have to take into account like that day, everything going on, like your instincts or what?
That's not a part of stat, dude.
Yeah.
Human
but they
beings?
act like it is though. They act like it is like, hey, where they're playing, who like the tendencies of teams. They act like that is in part of these animals.
Hey, maybe. Hey, I don't know all the stat that's, dude. But if I was a head coach, I would like to know all the stat that's.
Yeah.
I would like to know all of it because the stat that's are a big deal, but they are a massive conversation piece now in the NFL. Every single decision, and I think. You see a chip shot field goal now, you're like, oh, must not have seen the stat that's, dude. Must not have seen the stat that's deciding to kick. Like, for instance, the Ravens, they drive for 8 or 9 minutes to lead off that fucking game against the Green Bay Packers without their quarterback. 8-9 minute drive to start the game. Aaron Rodgers is sitting on the other side. The people of Baltimore are going bananas. White Striped Seven Nation Army is on deck from those Baltimore people who, they are very similar to the hooligans of Europe, the way they cheer on the Ravens over there. It is a great environment. You do that entire thing, 0 points. Stat that, dude. What does that do for the rest of the fucking game? Like, does that not set a tone for the rest of the game? I missed a field goal on the first drive of a game. I still think about it because I got 0 points in there. Those people don't even think about that in the stat community. No, you got to go for it here. Especially with Aaron Rodgers on the other side, you got to go for it. It's like, well, are you immediately saying that your defense isn't going to be able to get stops, or you think Aaron's going to be able to go, or do you even realize that 0 points is definitely less than 3 points, which I understand is less than 6, but 0 is not only a mood killer, vibe killer, but also ain't no fucking points there. I mean, that is, but Harbaugh is a much smarter coach and a much smarter man than I. I understand that. But it is definitely changing games and everything.
Well, I feel like that's also based on just like an average kicker potentially. Like you're discounting that like if you send Tucker out there, like you're getting 3 points. He's probably not going to miss it. Like it's not like with a lot of these teams where it's like, our kicking game isn't great. Like you have one of the best ever. Like he's going to make it no matter what.
Well, that's what StatDat says. Because Justin Tucker's StatDats are incredible.
Yeah.
Stefanski confirmed, ruled out of tonight's game. Ian Rappaport could have broken this news last hour when he was talking to us. Decides to do so via a tweet because they were still waiting to see if he could test out of the COVID protocols, which means find a negative test no matter how many times he was being tested, because you remember Stefanski both had COVID, got the vaccine, got the boost, and once again has COVID again. He, amongst other players and notables of the Browns, were out because of COVID, although most of them asymptomatic, causing this game to be delayed till today at 5:30. It is now official that none of the people that the game was delayed for are going to play today either.
Nope.
So fascinating. Protocols change. The same rulings, though, from Saturday are happening today on Monday. Stefanski officially out, AJ Hawk.
Yeah, I mean, let's see what happens. And they're down to their third-string quarterback, right? Who is it, Mullen?
Yeah, old Nicholas Mullins, dude.
Here we go.
The dude can sling it a bit, man. I wouldn't underestimate this guy. But
a couple games.
Yeah, we delayed the game, and now, like you said, nobody comes back. But this causes change, though, right? Now we have the different protocols where they're not going to be testing the vaccinated players, correct?
I don't know if the delay of the games necessarily caused change.
Stefanski, I feel like him getting it second time. Dude.
Yeah, I feel like he is a conversation piece in a lot of places right now, explaining their position on why, they might not do something. Anytime that happens, like for instance, there is people looking for reasons on why what they believe is right is right.
Confirmation bias, right? Don't they call it that?
Bingo. Hey, look at you, big old fucking brain.
Holy shit.
A lot of people looking for confirmation biases or bias-I. All right, whatever you.
Sure.
Bi-I, however.
Biasy.
That's what it is.
Biasy, whatever the case is. A guy getting COVID, getting vaccinated, getting boosted, then getting COVID again is confirmation bias for, I feel like, probably a lot of people that are feeling one particular way about something. And on the flip side, Kyrie Irving immediately coming back and getting COVID the day he gets it. There's a little probably on that side as well. So you just we all have to understand that the other side exists. They'll forever exist. And I think the sooner we recognize that, the better for everybody. And as the days unfold, there's only more and more reasons for both sides to continue to dig their feet in to the side that they're on. Now, with all that being said, the NFL changing the protocols and the NFLPA coming in agreement with it because of the potential Stefanski or any of the other players that are vaccinated, boosted, testing positive for COVID, but having no symptoms, they make an agreement where if you are vaccinated and you are fully vaccinated, however the NFL is declaring that, you do not have to get tested anymore. So basically, what they're saying is if you do everything that we think you can do to avoid getting this, to potentially stop shutting down our fucking league, we will no longer test you to find out if you could potentially shut down our league, is kind of what the NFL said. And that is going to have a ripple effect everywhere, AJ.
That's what I think is the best thing that you've said about that from the jump. Like, whatever the NFL does will trickle down throughout, obviously, other leagues, other sports, just other places, like everywhere, I feel like. Don't you think they're going to look to what the NFL's done, and then we may find a way to become more efficient with this or figure something out, I guess. But who knows where. I guess, we'll see how the rest of the season plays out. But you have to self-report to get tested now, right?
Yeah, that's what Ian Rappaport said. They're going on an honor code. And he said, the players have been really good about self-documenting concussions and stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, sure. Yeah, they have, of course. That's why they had to have an independent doctor and eyes on people. But you're right. And, he did say, if you don't report and that thing spreads, you're kind of fucking over your entire team, which I think could be and should be the way that they present that to the team. Whenever they're saying, hey, we're going to ask you if you have any symptoms. Please be truthful, because if you're the 45th guy on the roster and you're having a chance to play this weekend on special teams and you get, let's say, a little bit of a or a little whatever on a Friday, and you're on all the core special teams, and this is the first time in your life you've made a NFL check, you have worked for this, we need you to report that you have the sniffles and you are feeling a little something, because if it spreads everywhere, we're going to find out it was you that brought it in here, and we're going to cut you, even though you might be cut after this game anyways. I just don't know how it's going to go in the self-reporting game, but hey, maybe if you tell them you can't fuck over the whole team, maybe that is a good way to lay it out, AJ.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to lay it out most likely, but I would imagine that, say you're a 45th guy on the team, you think you may have some sniffles on Friday. don't you think that guy may test himself at home and be like, all right, and if he doesn't have it, then he's like, oh, I'm cool. If he has it, he goes in and gets tested and lets him know.
I mean, a lot of self-testing, self-reporting. I can't wait to hear the thoughts of the man that is joining us right now. 9-year NFL vet, one of the smartest players I've ever seen on a football field. That was confirmed by Chuck Pagano, who said, hey, I always look to
D-Butts.
D-Butts whenever I need an answer and what we should do in a coverage of man on the field. Host of the Man to Man podcast and everything DB. Ladies and gentlemen, Darius Butler.
Yeah,
D-Butts.
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 What's happening, fellas?
Hey, we've only called you D-Butt, and I think I've only called you D-Butt. Chuck came in here, and he was just like, hey, when you have a D-Butts on the team, you go to D-Butts, because there ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. When you go to D-Butts, you're going to get the right answer. Have we been fucking this up the entire time?
Nah, it's D-Butt. It's D-Butt. And Chuck just added a little S to it, but, I let him rock. Chuck was cool with me.
Chuck's a very cool guy.
Shout out to Chuck, man. Hey there, bro. Ooh, that Rolly. That Prezi?
All right.
Big baby?
All right, we signed
Say the boy got his old money. He got his old money.
Hey, listen, we sign big checks around here. Okay, we do go to big banks. We do all those things. We have big shows. That's why we have big brain guests like yourself join us every single Monday. D-Butt, let's go to the COVID protocol changes that have been made before we dive into the game. Self-reporting symptoms, just like the concussion thing is what it is now. If you're vaccinated, you will not have to get tested. You have to self-report any symptoms you have to get tested to potentially land in the protocol. Does this change anything you think for the non-vaccinated players? And do you think the self-reporting thing is going to end up working up well, knowing that you could potentially spread this thing to the entire fucking locker room?
The protocols obviously don't change much for the non-vax. They'll take more heat, obviously, in the media because those will be the overwhelming majority going into the protocol now, going forward. But kind of all throughout the season, there's been outbreaks amongst coaching staffs and players and those that are vaccinated. But now, since the numbers got so high, you went in like a week span where 6% of the league essentially tested positive for COVID. I think they kind of went behind those closed doors. It was like, hey, you start getting outside pressure to cancel and reschedule games. And the doctors are probably like, these guys aren't really getting sick. So they said, yeah, you know what? I know 6% tested positive. Let's stop testing 95% of the players in the league because there's too many damn positive tests. So
that's 1%.
Protect the money, protect the sponsors, and the fans get games. So that's what it's all about at the end of the day, if we're being honest.
Yeah, 100%. I wanted to ask you quick about Cam Newton and Matt Rule in Carolina. I don't know if you saw Matt Rule's post-game presser when he kind of talks about – I don't know if he threw Cam under the bus, but he definitely said he defended the play calling and said we need better execution on that play. And Cam actually kind of took the high road and gave a good answer when they asked him. Have you seen that? And is there an issue you think does Matt Rule not like Cam?
I wouldn't go as far as saying he's not liked him. Probably just trying to cover his own ass to an extent. I like, coaches getting up there, taking accountability for shit. Obviously, you fired your OC halfway through the season. Unless that's your MO. Like BA, he's won a ton in this league. He's won a Super Bowl. And BA, since I've known him, he got his first head coaching gig with us, really. And he called it how it is. In the locker room, in the meeting, in the media. If that's your thing, do it. But don't pick and choose. So I'm not sure how I feel about Matt Rule. And the voices are getting loud down there in Carolina as far as, him being on the hot seat. So maybe this is a little finger pointing. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see Sam Darnold back out there when he gets healthy.
Ooh, maybe he'll be able to kick for him as well because they obviously had an issue there.
It'll still stink.
And even if it's faux accountability, right? I think even if everybody knows, like the classic coach speak is like, I got to coach him up better. I got to coach him up better. I got to have a better strategy. Every player in the locker room is like, all right, so at least he's acting like it is his fault, even though, it's just the optics of everything. I guess it's getting hard.
Like Chuck, when we had the fake punt, he went and took accountability for that after. Now, if anybody has ever watched football before, you knew the guy shouldn't have snapped the damn ball, but, with the cameras in front of you, mic in front of you, take full accountability.
Yeah, it's just optic. It's good leadership style. I guess it's getting hot for Matt Rule. I guess it's getting hot down there. I think the signing of Cam Newton was a business play by Tepper to get Cam back in the good graces of the Carolina Panthers, knowing that the Panthers fans love him, knowing that he's around in the area, knowing that you're trying to build like a winner here. Having Cam be on good graces with your team, I think is a good idea. I think that's why they paid him $10 million. I think it was a business like, hey, we apologize. How will this thing continue to go? Who knows for any of them down there. What are your thoughts on the Colts winning the Super Bowl this year? Let's fucking go, D-Bud. Hey, we're feeding Jonathan Taylor. The defense is flying around. Darius Leonard's Defensive Player of the Year candidate. He's changing games. DeForest Buckner's an animal. Kenny Moore. On the offensive side of the ball, we only got thrown 5 times. D-Bud, your thoughts on the Indianapolis Colts?
You can't leave out that Bubba Ventrone coach special teams unit. Has been one of the better units in the league this year. But I love everything about the team. I just still got that slight concern with Carl, man, with Wentz. Man. I feel like to really give your team a chance to win a Super Bowl, your quarterback is going to have to be special at least for a 2, 3, 4 week stretch. Like, you're going to have to make plays. And Jonathan Taylor is special, but I think it's a quarterback-driven league, and at some point that'll show up. I said a couple of weeks ago, the only quarterback I trust really at this point of the year is Pat Mahomes up there in Kansas City, and that's still the same on the AFC side.
Hey, what happened to the Bucs? Like with the Saints getting shut out? I know they had plenty of injuries as the game went on. Like, are you worried about them?
Still not concerned with the Bucs yet. You know, you got AB coming back at what seems like the perfect time, especially with the injuries. Not sure what's going on.
Aren't they cutting them?
Yeah. I heard that here first, and I thought it was a joke then. It's definitely a joke now. But once again, I like BA being honest. He came out. I think they asked him about it. He was like, "Look, this is in the best interest of the football team going forward as far as winning games. Like, if you didn't cut him as soon as it happened, they weren't going to cut him. You kind of keep that ace in the hole. And, I mean, that's the perfect guy you want coming out when you need him right now. We don't know what's going on with Fournette. At least I don't. And Mike Evans, same thing. Godwin looks like he'll be out the rest of the year. But they got a pretty easy slate going forward if it's anything like that anymore. But I'm not concerned about the Bucs. You know, a lot of injuries. Saints came out. They flew around. Dennis Allen, that's a well-coached defense. And Taysom Hill, he put 9 points on the board, and that was enough.
All right, a little shot at Taysom Hill there at the
end.
A little shot at Taysom.
I mean, that offense wasn't doing anything either. But,
how about that little drop to Callaway? Hey, did you see that Callaway with the splint on his finger? They said he's going to be back in a few weeks. What does that even mean? Russell Wilson, he had 19-hour rehab days for that thing. It's very... The Taysom Hill story is going to be a fascinating one to cover. He wins games whenever he's playing quarterback, but nobody says he's a quarterback. He's got a $40 million contract, potentially to be a quarterback, but he's not really a quarterback. They shut out the fucking Bucs in Week 15, and I, just like D-Bud here, like, they'll come back. Like, it is hard. There's not a lot of games left. Hey, there's not a lot of games left. But I, just like everybody else, I didn't expect a veteran-led team of the Super Bowl champs to lay an egg like that, especially on primetime. But maybe they needed it. Go ahead, Ty.
Debo, we were talking earlier about Rodgers on that the 2-minute drill before halftime, threading the needle, the MVS there. As a D-back, when you see, I mean, obviously a guy like Rodgers, his reputation precedes himself, but like when a pass like that's completed and you know like he's on, is there anything you can really do to stop him, like as a D-back? And also, do you think the Packers are the favorites to win the Super Bowl?
I mean, they're my favorites right now. Definitely, especially with the health going on, what's going on in Tampa. Definitely my favorites. And if I don't see anybody going to Lambeau and beating that team right now. And when A-Rod's on, like watching, breaking down quarterbacks, watching film, A-Rod far and away is like he looks superhuman when you're watching him on all 22. Like every game, it's a couple throws where it's like what? And what he did last night, it was along that same thread, man. And it's when he's on, he's on. I mean, you got to pray that you get one, and when you get an opportunity to pick him off, you got to take advantage of it. You get an opportunity to sack him. They got stops late, and Harbaugh went for it, which I agree with. But when A-Rod's on, he's on.
Yeah, because A-Rod's on. I mean, there was still, and AJ brought this up, there's still 40-some seconds left with Aaron Rodgers on the other side. Devontae's still playing football over there. So even if they do get that, I'm excited to watch what the final drive is like.
Got to go for it. Got to go for two there.
I think so. Because if you go to overtime, I think Aaron's going to score anyways. It just feels like that's going to happen. With the backup quarterback, you're 2 yards away from winning the fucking game against the Packers. I think you have to do it. Allegedly, there was a miss. The stats community, though, is, hey, stat that, D, but Stat community is up in arms. He didn't go for 2 twice. So even a guy that's a stats guy is getting attacked by the stat community for not using the stats enough. It's crazy. Stat that, dude. Stat that.
It's a lot of analytics versus football arguments going on right now in those Twitter streets. And I mean, nobody can be right. I feel like you got to have a feel for the game. You got to have a feel for your players, your opponent. I'm not a fan of, a spreadsheet or a bot telling you when to go for it and when not to. You just got to know. 4th and 2 game, I think we were both rookies. Peyton Manning got hot that second half. Belichick said, you know what, I'm not punting to him. We're going for it. We're leaving it in Brady and Kevin Falk's hand. It didn't pan out, and they went and won the game. You got to live with your results.
Hey, the only thing that wins in this whole game is that son of a bitch hindsight. Oh, my God. Hindsight is always just the smartest.
Undefeated.
Oh, my God. And hindsight's playing for both teams as well.
Yeah.
Just like stats is playing for all parties involved in all debates somehow.
Yeah.
I think that is something that also should be recognized as stats might be on your side, also on the other side. Hindsight fucking wins over everybody.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
What a beautiful... Congrats to Hindsight on an undefeated undefeated streak forever. Go ahead,
That's why you can't just completely lean on the stats, man. That's, and you can flip stats and make them anything you want them to be. And that's kind of after the result has happened. When you're in that game, when you're coaching, when you're playing, like you're writing the story essentially. Like you can't, wait till after. So, I'm a fan of the call. It just didn't execute.
I agree. Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, Darius, you think there's any chance that your favorite team down there in Miami will put some respect on Tua's name finally? Or are they going to shop him once again when the offseason comes around?
I mean, 6 wins in a row. 6 wins in a row. You got one out the gate, lost 7. I mean, he's winning ball games. The team is winning ball games. He won without Waddle. But honestly, my honest opinion, watching the offense, and I know the offensive line stinks, but watching the passing offense, I mean, it's a pretty elementary, basic offense.
What's this guy's What's this guy's deal?
I run 7 plays.
I mean, I'm just being honest, Gump. I'm being honest, Gump. He's winning ball
Coach
games.
Herman Boone ran 6 plays.
Best completion percentage in the NFL, dude.
Jesus, get
what
off
do you want
the Fin
from the guy?
fans back.
6 wins in a row.
Hey, you can't argue with results, man. 6 wins in a row, but I don't think the Dolphins are 100% content with Tua being the guy going forward. That's just my assessment.
And Tua's still playing as hard as he can, winning games, doing incredible. I mean, who knows?
Love Tua, love him.
Love Tua, love his effort, love his mental toughness too with all the bullshit happening. My last question before I think AJ has one for you. The 49ers are bullying people on offense and defense. I didn't have them on the main screen yesterday, but anytime I saw it, Matt Ryan was getting fucking handled.
Yeah.
Every time I saw it. And on the offensive side, Debo and George Kittle have become this tag team for Jimmy G to create absolute nightmares for opposing teams' defenses. George Kittle's first 8 games this season, 35 catches, 425 yards, 3 touchdowns. George Kittle's last 3 games, 28 catches, 425 yards, 3 touchdowns. Damn. He is getting hot at the right time. Debo Samuel is an insane athlete who used in the backfield and at wide receiver. Jimmy G seems to be making all the right plays. The defense is clicking. Special teams is good. How do you feel about the Niners going forward in the NFC West?
I feel good about the Niners right now. That's the third quarterback over there that's done it in the playoffs and that has got to a Super Bowl with Jimmy G. You got Brady obviously and A-Rod, and Jimmy G will be the guy in the NFC who I will be betting my money on going forward. Now you talk about Kittle and Debo; those are both physical freaks and mismatches wherever they're on the field. So as long as Kyle keeps using them, you got Juice back there who's also another mismatch. And if you get production from any other guys, it's bonus. Jimmy G just kind of can't mess it up. And then Nick Bosa, I mean, almost any other year, he'll probably be in Defensive Player of the Year conversation. He's unblockable. So that defense, they keep playing well. They're a physical ball club. They're starting to running defense, and Jimmy G being efficient. He's been efficient these last 7-8 games. So I like the Niners going forward.
Hey, are the Steelers a contender? You think? Are they back? Is Big Ben gonna ride off into the sunset with the Super Bowl?
Fucking Mike.
I'm not content. I mean, contender to win that division for sure, but no chance. I don't think. They don't play offense for 2.5, 3 quarters. Shout out to Joe Hay. His first game back, man, had a huge impact on the game winning tackle. But I don't think Big Ben can put that team on his back and do that in the playoffs.
Big time tackle out of Joe Hayden. Big time win, especially in the fourth quarter.
Big time pick, too.
Yeah. Last question here from Tone. Go ahead, Tone.
D-Butts, it was highlighted last night by the Fox crew. I feel like it hasn't been called in a few weeks, but the D-back having to take on a tight end or offensive lineman outside and not being able to go low to create a pile. Like, why are offenses not trying to get that done every single play?
I mean, I honestly feel like I'm seeing it more, especially on kind of these short yardages and getting near the end zone, more toss plays, and that's probably why. But, I mean, it's so unfair for defensive backs, for corners. You know, these corners are 190, 200 pounds, and these dudes are 320, 330 coming around the corner, and you got to hit them high. Like, it's completely unfair. If I'm in offense, that's something I'm doing, especially if I got an athletic guy that can get that corner. It's completely unfair. I hope they go back and change the rules. Because I rarely saw – offensive linemen walking off the field because a corner came and blew up their outside leg. So I don't know why they changed the rule in the first place.
Well, they're thinking about what could potentially happen, just like when they changed the strike zone conversation. Now you got guys hitting people in the knees too. I mean, it's interesting as the game evolves. There's more shit to deal with, and we can't thank you enough for helping us sort through it all, D-Butt.
Appreciate you, fellas.
Ladies and gentlemen,
you said watch one more time.
What's that?
You said that thing one more time.
Well, it is Monday the 20th. I got the date on there and everything.
Damn.
And if I could read the old thing, but it doesn't, by the way, it just does one smooth thing. It'd be cool, but I can't. So I just look up there and then I look at my phone, but it's good.
Love it, man. Hey, congrats to y'all, man. I don't think I said that on the air, man. Congrats to you and the fellas, man. I know people don't see it from the outside looking in, but I know all the work and the grind that the guys behind the scene put in, man. So shout out to y'all, man. Everything y'all deserve, man.
Hey, we appreciate the hell out of you, D-Butt. We can't wait to chat with you again. Have an incredible Christmas. We'll see you next week. Ladies and gentlemen, Darius Butler. D-Butt's the man. Let's get
Do you hear him when he talked about I never saw a lineman come off the field after a corner went out and took out his outside leg. I like how detailed he is. He took out his outside leg because that's the proper leverage going outside in, so you got to force everything back.
Yeah, so he showcased what they should be doing, what you're told to do, and what actually happens. Now, every once in a while, I guess a guy will potentially go on the inside leg. A little bit of a whool.
Then it bounces and the run gets down the sideline, and then that corner gets in trouble.
Hey, you saw the Bucs start doing that with Ronald Jones. They had success, and then they...
It's true. Like, if you can get that matchup, that's a huge advantage.
Jensen can move.
Yeah.
Wirfs can move.
Yeah.
Those dudes can move. And you get them on a run out there, boom, they're off and running. I'll tell you what, Tony Romo had his best game yet yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we're back in 4 minutes. We'll take some phone calls and go through some more Twitter overreactions. This is the Pat McAfee Show. A lot of people for the way that they acted after that Friday thing. There's no way you're isolated enough that you don't hear any. You had to have heard. There's some massive names, politicians. I mean, your name has been spoke by a lot of people. Are you just, because you're like, hey, love will cure this thing. How are you not going to hold a grudge to everybody? And do you know that you're probably never going to win an MVP again? That's probably never going to happen, right?
I think that's a legitimate statement.
Legit though, like that. There's a lot of people that vote for that I think are not Like, how do you isolate that? How do you stay away from that? Because you're talking about everybody on earth talking about you. That's not getting you down at all. That's incredible mental toughness if that's the case.
Well, you know what? I think first, if you find your identity in yourself and you don't find your identity in the opinions of others, you don't need that validation and that love from other people. You can get it from yourself, and that's not being selfish. That's just learning how to in a healthy way love yourself and respect yourself, and believe in yourself. And it definitely was tested, by some of the comments that I heard. And so I'm human. I mean, stuff can definitely hurt your feelings, but look, I shared an opinion that is polarizing. I get it. And I misled some people about my status, which I take full responsibility of, those comments. But in the end, I have to stay true to who I am and what I'm about. And I stand behind the things that I said. And I, have a ton of empathy for people who have been going through the worst part of this pandemic, which has affected all of us in different ways. But so many people, like I said, with lives that were lost, lives that were forever changed. And I have a ton of compassion and empathy for those people. And I've tried to help out, as much as I can.
Yeah.
The other stuff is so out of my control, and there's going to be people that don't like you and hate you for things you said, or might not even understand what you said or know what you said. It might just see a headline, and that's fine. I believe that people are entitled to their opinion, and even if it's an opinion that's unfavorable to me. But I'm going to continue to try and be the best version of me moving forward, and I'm excited about getting back on the field as soon as possible.
Hey, do you know if offense or defense is getting introduced this week in your game? And have you thought about it all, like what the reaction may be if offense is introduced and you're the last guy out? Have you thought about that?
I think it is offense, and I'm excited. There's nothing like running out of that tunnel last, especially.
You think it'll be different one way anyway than your normal, how they normally respond?
I don't know. I hope not.
They should show that on the network.
Oh, that clip will make its way.
Oh, yeah.
That clip will make its way around. To walk into any Howl at the Moon and go, wish you would step from that ledge, my friend.
Jumper.
We could
cut ties with all the lies that we've been living in.
And
if you do not want to see me again, I would understand.
That's what I'm going to do at Howl at the Moon. Just slide on the knees with the guitar.
Howl at the Moon is just pianos usually.
No.
You wouldn't get it.
"2022 is on its way, and the last thing you want is to be the guy with pubes getting in your way and making this year your best yet.
Oh, yeah.
Manscaped are making a splash and upping your grooming game. Their signature Lawnmower 4.0 is here, and to take down every pube in its path.
Oh, yeah.
This tool is amazing, and we're confident that using the 4.0 is going to leave 2021 and my pubes in it.
Hell yeah.
I don't know if that really makes sense, but I'm all in on confidence and smelling good this new year. So join us with Manscaped. Get 20% off and free shipping by going to manscaped.com/Pat. That's 20% off with free shipping by going to manscaped.com/Pat. Happy New Year to you and your balls.
Shout out, that lawnmower is like Jonathan Taylor, runs through anything.
Hell yeah.
That's right.
Smooth as well. Welcome back to the show. Yeah. We got like 2 minutes until the end of hour 2 here, AJ. You want to take phone calls on a 5 Energy phone line? You want to get some tweets? What do you want to do?
Yeah, we could do whatever. I wanted you to pay off that tease you had on Romo. You said his best day yet.
That's not a tease. That was a statement of fact.
Boom. Oh, I thought you were going to talk about it.
There's a lot of internet chatter about old Tony Romo. It seems like it's only getting louder and louder each week.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Seems like it's only getting louder and louder each week. I don't know. There's a lot of people on the internet questioning his desire, to pay attention.
Sure.
Sure. There's some people on the internet that have said, and this is a real thing, and I need to take note of this because I am the type of person who, people probably hate listening to or love listening to. One or the other, there's nothing in between. Once you get those people that like listening to you, you need them to stay on your side. Because if they turn on you, then the side that hates you is like, yeah, even this person. And this has happened to me. Feels like a lot of people that were on Romo's side for a long time are potentially going the other way. And I don't know why. I don't love it. I don't like it. Some of the things he says, you got to go, what the fuck is this guy doing? He's the color commentator of the NFL right now. He's highest paid. Mm-hmm. He's in the spotlight. You go with Troy Aikman up there, Chris Collinsworth up there. You start talking about, some of the other guys in that league. That's a representative of the entire NFL, the entire world. And you're in a spotlighted position where I assume a lot of people are going to hate you regardless, let alone, if you say like, yeah, it happened today.
Right, Jim? I don't remember.
Let's send it to the Red Cross.
Yeah.
Oh,
Jesus. That's what people like, though, I thought they liked that he's like authentic and it's not like a prepackaged thing and he's reacting in the moment.
I agree, by the way, and I'm very similar to that, so I appreciate the fact. I just think some of it is, for some people, I don't know. The internet's going to hate everything.
His voice is very. You definitely know a Romo game if you're flipping around and you find it. Like his voice too. You know that's him.
Yeah, he rides the wave. He has emotions, which I appreciate. Because the game is a celebration. There's just some things where I think we learn a lot about him.
Yeah.
I think we learn a lot about him really quickly. We're like, oh, geez. Well, I've never been friends with a guy like this. I don't think. I've actually thought that numerous times while listening. Like, oh, I don't think I've ever been around a human like this. I don't.
Well, does he know like you don't have to drink 20 Coronas every single Sunday
that's always
morning?
where it revolves around too, because the Corona Tony hotline, is the thing. But
it's a good marketing campaign.
It goes back to the Conor McGregor thing, right? I mean, he's making so much fucking money. It's just like I don't think he really cares about doing it anymore. He'd rather get liquored up and play golf than pay attention to what's going on Sundays. I can respect that.
We don't know if any of that's true, but I do know that just because you get a bunch of money doesn't mean you have to stop caring about what you're doing.
That's a good point.
All right,
that's a good point.
Because once you get to the top of the mountain, that is only when the work begins. Because you are just like Charles Barkley said. There's more people that hate us and me today than they did 2 weeks ago. We got to keep climbing and keep doing our thing. Hour 3's on the other side. We nailed it. Fucking nailed it.
Oh, yeah.
You have no idea. Down to the 1/8 of a second right there, AJ. You know what I mean?
Right, true pro, man. That's why that Emmy is coming.
We get described as a podcast, I guess. We are. There is a podcast version. We get described as a radio show, I guess. We are. There is a radio version.
That's true.
Nobody ever talks about us being just a daily live show. You know what I mean? I think we're kind of in that category now, aren't we?
I would assume that's what I think so. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, tell your yuppie friends then about it. Okay.
Who's my yuppie friend?
All the ones that are like, well, the podcast. It's top 5. I guess it's a good podcast, but
people don't know. People just call everything a podcast.
Put in the newsletter, dude.
Oh, my newsletter that I send out?
Yuppie-newsletter.com.
All right, let's bounce around some. Yeah, you yups need to get it together. You know what I mean?
Seriously.
You yups.
I don't even barely know how to BCC anyone, so I don't send those out.
But you know what it is.
I'll tell you what. There's a couple sneaky people on email, so I'm realizing.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a part of. I've tried to delete some names off of the email reply all. You know what I mean? Like, all right, this person does not need to be on here. Why is this person on here? I thought this was already decided. Yeah. Boom. And I'll reply all. And then I'll get a send back with that person's name on it, but not in the thing. I'm like, oh, they got this person as a blocked contact. Wow. Oh, okay. I'm kind of learning that now. So, I got to figure out a new maneuver. I think I'm starting a new email chain.
Yep.
Ooh.
That's what you got to do. You start a new email chain. Say, hey, this is where we're at. This is my email chain now.
And then do you reference the people that you left out from the old one?
No. I never reference anything. It's just like, all right, don't think this person's needed anymore. All right. What is Pat saying with that? Oh, he hates that guy. Oh, okay. Let's get him
Remove him from
I thought you usually remove people you like.
Well, I have, if they're serving no purpose, that has to happen as well. You know what I mean?
Although slow and dangerous behind the wheel, they do still serve a purpose.
Well, I'm saying if it's a benefit to if we like you, which is, I think more often than not.
Most people.
I feel like I get kind of a bad rap among some people because they just think that I'm going to hate them immediately, in that executive world. I think that is something that is talked about. Like, hey, there's a good chance this guy will hate. I don't think that's the case at all. There's people that we like in those positions that don't do anything, though. Like, all right, this person accomplishes nothing. Okay, we love you. Can't wait to see you at a gathering or whatever.
Sure.
Don't need you on this email. What is this person even? You know what I mean? That's how I like to.
That seems very fair.
I think I'm maybe one of the fairest.
Stern.
Fair and balanced.
Always have.
I've never said fair and balanced, but stern.
But fair.
But fair. Gary Goldman described himself as such as a substitute teacher, and I think I've taken that on as my narrative as well. I think that's a good life motto there, Gary. Let's be stern, but fair.
That's right.
That's what the show is.
Always.
Except for on Overreaction Monday, because people are supposed to say the most ridiculous shit of all time. Let's take another trip around Twitter a little bit for hashtag PMS. I don't want to overreact, but this is from Jordan Calkins, at Calkins_Jordan. Jordan has a good life, doesn't he? Wife and kids up there?
Seems like it, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Jordan Calkins living good, isn't he, AJ?
Yeah, wife in one. It looks like a newborn child.
Wait. Maybe Jordan's the wife. Though.
Recent.
Oh, it could be. Dual name.
Wait, what'd you say?
Well, what if the wife here or the lady?
Is she Calkins?
Well, what if she's Jordan?
Oh. and his first name is Calkins.
No, he'd be Dave Calkins.
Yeah. Jordan and Dave got married, have a baby, but Jordan could potentially be the lady in the photo.
Is this potentially the baby's Twitter account?
Maybe the family.
Wait, where is Dave?
Well,
on
Dave
the left.
could be the guy.
Wait, hold on. I'm trying to see if there's the name of Dave is anywhere in this.
Well, no, we're just saying hypothetically.
Oh, my bad. Okay, yeah.
Jordan could be married to Dave Calkins.
Yeah, Jordan could be the mom here of
Or
the
Bill
baby.
Calkins. You never know.
It could be
yes.
William Calkins. By the way, also, side note, it could be Jordan Calkins married Jordan something else.
Yeah.
Creating two Jordan Calkinses, the cock eye. We don't know.
Could be Macaulay for all we know.
That could be the guy in this photo's name. But we will go with the fact thinking the guy is Jordan, right?
Right.
And welcome to all the first-time listeners.
Anyways, shout out to Jordan Calkins, whichever one. Congrats on him, baby.
Nice job.
Hashtag PMS, I don't want to overreact, but the Buffalo Bills are going to win the division against game manager Mac Jones next week and eventually win a Super Bowl. And it's only fitting that they will get to beat Tom Brady to do it. Hashtag Bills Mafia. Hey, big win over the Panthers this weekend for the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
I don't know how the narrative changed at all this weekend nationally about the Bills maybe not being able to win deep, but they're just going to have to do it to make everybody believe. And I think they have enough skill on that team. They have enough talent on that team. They have enough fireworks on that team to score with anybody. But late in the playoffs, what are you going to have to do to get a win is all anybody's asking. Can the Bills do that, AJ?
I mean, don't you think, at least before the season started, their expectations were absolutely they should be in the run to go try to win the Super Bowl with a handful of other teams, I guess, that have a chance. But I don't know. Isn't there another team I can't figure out? I can't trust anybody really in the NFL.
Well, that's all Dan's just got to worry about. I can't wait for his power rankings, especially after 4 more games still to be played. 2 today, 2 tomorrow, 1 at 5 that has a super boost. We love the Chubb. It's currently live on FanDuel.
Yeah.
Hour 3 begins in 35 seconds.
The Pat McAfee Show.
There will be no rules for our guests, for us, for the things we can talk about.
Speaking his mind
I've never had a problem expressing my opinions or my thoughts or anything like that.
while being relatable.
I haven't had that manufactured fake-ass celebrity that a lot of people have whenever they go on those big networks. I've had a chance to really build my crew, build my following, build my audience.
And ridiculous.
What am I supposed to do? So I'm supposed to look at something that I can definitely afford and say, nah. Is that what I'm supposed to do?
The Pat
What the fuck are
McAfee
you
Show
doing?
starts in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to that show. Hour 3 on this overreaction Monday, December 20th, 2021 shall begin right now.
Yeah.
The man on my left, your right of the screen, is a college football national champion, a Super Bowl champion, a Ryder Cup champion, and a man whose jaw is made of marble. Ohioan to a T, Super Ohio, AJ Hall. Let's dive right into it, AJ. I mean, the Toxic Table at Ty Schmidt, at Boston Connor are here. Tone Diggs is here. The Hammer Dahn Cowboy, which is a gambling show that goes live 15 minutes after this show ends at youtube.com/Hammer Dahn. Can't thank you enough, Tone, for your service alongside Gumpy.
Thank you.
I heard you guys had a dominant weekend.
I didn't college, yes. NFL, no.
Let's get to our scores this past weekend. AJ, I believe, we chatted about...
Did I win any?
Well, you want to feel...
Oh, okay. Much better than I thought.
Oh, gross.
Yeah, so 7-5, 4-8. Still,
I got 4 games to go to still beat you.
That's what I'm saying. There's still 4 games left. We are nowhere near the end of Week 15, and I think that's a beautiful thing about Overreaction Monday this particular week. And I don't think this is going to happen ever again for the rest of the season, especially with the targeted testing COVID protocols that have been put into place. So we might as well enjoy the hell out of this. Raiders-Browns is a game that is very interesting whenever you think about the fact that the Browns are still very much in it. So much so that Baker Mayfield's wife actually gave a motivational speech to the Cleveland Browns via a post saying, hey, let's go get that #1 spot in the AFC North. Although Baker feels 110%, we're going to be watching live in pride from the couch. Do the Browns get a win? They're favored by 1.5. No head coach, no 2 quarterbacks, going with Big Frank Mullins. Go ahead.
If they win, they're in first in the division. If they lose, they're in last in the division.
Here we go. A lot on the line on a Monday late afternoon. 5 o'clock kickoff in the city on the lake in front of the dog pound AJ, your thoughts. Who wins, who covers?
So who was out for the Raiders? Do we know?
Waller is out.
Yes.
Yeah. That's it?
The line's up to 3 now because of the quarterbacks and Stefanski and stuff officially being – sorry, the Browns are +3 now because the quarterbacks and stuff were ruled out and all the players did not make it back for this.
What time's kickoff? Is it 5:30 or 5? Our source said 5:30, but then immediately publicly everybody said 5.
5:01.
Yeah. Okay, 5:01 kickoff. The Browns, by the way, bad information.
Yeah, geez Louise.
Come on.
Fuck, that's why I don't do that source game. I mean, there's no reason for that particular source to be wrong about that. Tighten the fuck up, dude. Sorry. Or lady, maybe. I don't want to give away any of my sources. Browns getting 3 at home. Derek Carr playing. Bisaccia playing. That defense that can look good and can do well is playing. How do you think it goes? -3, Raiders on the road in Cleveland. +3 for Big Nick Mullins and the Chubb in the backfield. Couple offensive linemen out, I believe, as well.
Mm-hmm.
They tested out of the protocol. Who you got, AJ?
I have to go Raiders here. Raiders going to go, and they're going to cover.
Oh, no.
What do you want to do?
Well, I wanted to go Raiders because this feels like one of those games where the Raiders win, and everybody goes like, oh, this is what the Raiders could have been. Happens every single year. The Raiders are the could have been team. Now, I don't want to dive into what the Arizona Cardinals could be right now. Are they the team that they were last year? Oh, my God. Did they forget what they were this year going into that bye week and have not played well? Maybe. But the Raiders seems to be a game that the Raiders will play well in. This feels like a game that they'll play well in.
The Raiders, I will say this. I'm not trying to influence either way. They have lost 5 of 6. The Raiders season, they're good
due,
to start the
is what
season.
you're saying.
They're due. They're either due or you're due.
All right, I'll stick with the Raiders as well. I don't like it.
But also what could happen, I'm going to take the Raiders too. I'll stay with it. But old Frank Mullins, as you like to call him, could come out here and absolutely light it up for Cleveland, though.
He could, but no, I mean, Chubb's going to score a touchdown. That was +105 for a Chubb tut. That was the original.
I would say they're going to rely on him heavily.
Well, so we got a super boosted to +140, but it moved from -105 to +105. Why is the sportsbook moving a Chubb touchdown? Is it because the offensive line is out? What are they knowing that we're not knowing? Because this happened as of this morning. I mean, it changed from minus to plus. They're thinking it's going to be a much harder day for Chubb than we all were originally realizing. It's boosted to +140. Still think Chubb's going to score. Feels like this is one the Raiders win, though. Let's go to the next game happening. Bears, Vikings, Adam Thielen potentially in. Ian Rappaport says no. Tom Pelissero says yes, maybe, possibly, he has a chance to play. That is a big determiner. This is in Chicago. I believe, I don't know if it's public knowledge, Nagy's calling plays?
Yes.
Nagy's calling plays for the offense with Justin Fields. Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson and them travel to Chicago for Monday night, late night football. Bears +6.5 at home. It's going to be terrible weather.
Yeah, brutal.
I assume.
Man.
Vikings also a dome team.
The Bears have no secondary at all COVID.
Vikings have Dalvin Cook, though.
Bears have Dan Montgomery.
Jefferson's unbelievable.
6.5.
That's a lot.
Is their season?
I got the Bears 6.5.
Wow.
All right, I got the Vikings -6.5.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can, you can make up some ground there, I guess, on that, and then we'll deal with tomorrow's games. Let's get to some phone calls, shall we, on this beautiful Overreaction Monday 5-hour Energy phone line. Hey, good luck on those 2 games, AJ.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck to you as well.
What did you go this week? 4-8?
Yeah.
I'm 4-8 currently. I mean, that's not what I'm going to end up at.
This weekend, I said. Yeah, you went 4-8. I went 7-5. Pretty good week.
That's pretty good.
I figured you should have been better.
This is coming out of a 10-3. You know what I mean? This is coming out of a 10-3. And I was actually watching the games, trying to figure out who was going to do better between you and I. And we automatically said, well, one of us is going to do good and one of us isn't because we picked the opposite on a lot. That's not the case. It was like sporadic. You won and then I would win and then he would win. It was like there was no clear blowout with the way yesterday went. And I think the sports books made a lot of fucking money. I think they made a lot of money yesterday with how everything went. Let's talk about that Cardinals team before we get to the phones. What's going on, dude? Cliff Kingsbury said we got out-coached. We got outplayed. He didn't look like he lost his spirit or soul. He still looked incredibly cool. But that team looks a lot like they looked last year when they were self-admittedly very inconsistent. On top of the mountain they were after the first 7 games, obviously. Kyler Murray, this is via at NFL on CBS, 7-0 through the first 7, 73.5 completion percentage, 286 yards per, and he had 17 touchdowns, only 5 interceptions. Last 4 games, 1-3, 63%, 259, 3 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. What is going on over there? Do you think it's because Nuke is out that we saw him struggle this past weekend? And is this what the future looks like for them, AJ?
Well, it definitely doesn't help Kyler Murray in their offense with Hopkins out. But, I mean, as crazy as it is to say, you got to give the Lions a lot of credit here, especially defensively in this game. I understand the Cardinals have been, 1-3 in the last 4. But still, like the Lions, they answered every single time. I felt like, okay, here we go. Cardinals going to find a way, get back in it, and the Lions continue to shut them down. So Dan Campbell got to celebrate afterwards, and I don't know. I think he gave Detroit some hope.
I think they were all in Detroit, which I appreciate. Afterwards, in the speech, I think we could all assume that the locker room was not on Urban Meyer's side.
No.
Right.
There's 2 rookie head coaches, 2 bad teams, bad franchises, not a lot of high expectations, 2 very different cultures being built, it feels like. That locker room with MCDC, MCDC cried at one point. You think MCDC was going to hop on a plane and not fly home with the boys after any loss? No way.
No way.
He's literally flying back with the team. He's drinking a
bottle of Jack Daniels, man.
Oh, coffee too.
Oh, well, yeah, douche, but
he's staying up, no stone unturned. I think that entire roster has seen the work that MCDC and the rest of the coaching staff has put in, and them themselves have put in the film room and figuring out their identity and trying to find it. It feels like a culmination of all of that. All that earnest, all the selling, you're finally reaping the benefit of that, and we get a chance to see it afterwards. I think they love MCDC up there, man. I honestly believe, I think they love him up there. And although, they're only hurting their draft capital right now, and Jared Goff says, why not just win the rest of the games? And, the reason why you wouldn't is because of draft capital. I don't think they give a fuck who's in there. They had a number 45. Who's the 9th leading tackler in Penn State history, score a touchdown last. There's a lot of shitty numbers doing a lot of great things for the Lions, and that makes me feel like MCDC is pulling a lot out and bringing in and welcoming and giving a lot of opportunity to a lot of people. And I think it's going to pay off in the long run. Are the Lions ever going to be favorites to win anything going into a season in the next 4 to 5 years? Probably not. But goddamn, it felt good to see what they're building over there last night, especially with all the ex-players as the coaches, AJ.
Well, seeing the ex-players is cool, but I would feel like they have to be super frustrated in Detroit. Don't you know when coaches give you the coach speak, like, hey, we put together 4 or 5 weeks of great practice together. We're doing the right things. We're getting better. We're making plays during games. We can't find a way to win. And they've had some situations where they could have won games they lost. But now when you win a game like that against a team like the Cardinals that people were talking about being the best team in the NFC for a little while, like, okay, it's got to build some confidence and, hey, like, we're on the right track.
And a lot of the conversation is the Arizona Cardinals are in a bad spot. And I almost started it, by the way, and you kept us off of that. The Lions do deserve a little bit. This never happens.
No, never.
This never happens.
Never.
This late in the season, too, it's like, hey, good on Detroit winning that game. Now, did Arizona lose it? Maybe. Okay, was there plays to be made by Kyler that weren't made that were normally made? Yes. Is no DeAndre Hopkins a massive advantage for the Detroit Lions, especially after we've seen the way Kyler and Nuke operate? Let me scramble, let me extend, I'll throw up, Nuke makes an insane catch. Obviously, that is a massive blow to the offense. But them kicking a surprise onside kick early, them kind of dominating and answering the bell, good on Detroit. Maybe the Cardinals aren't dead. Maybe they just happen to run into a buzzsaw that MCDC had turned on a long time ago, man.
I swear the Lions did play a perfect game. I said that already, but they did. They fumbled once. That was their only flaw. But then the defense came back. They got an interception right away. They didn't give the Cardinals any chance, which is so weird as a fan to watch the Lions, because every single time I just assumed the other team will come back somehow, and they didn't.
I put a tweet out, hey, don't look now. It's 10-zip. Fucking Lions.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, 2 minutes later, hey, don't look now. It is 17-zip.
Whoa.
Lions. And then that is exactly when Foxy sends the text, hey, good time to live bet Cardinals right now. You're getting great odds, live money line bet for the Cardinals. This is classic Lions. This is classic Lions because that's what Lions fans, I think, have been accustomed to. Yeah. They always seem to have bursts of good in games. And then inevitably, it's heartbreaking loss after heartbreaking loss. So you get hope. It's like golf. You get hope, and then, quadruple bogey. Okay, I just shot 100 again. All right. Then you get hope. Oh, we're up 20. Oh, 4 pick sixes in the second half somehow. It's like, like that has happened for a long time. I'm so happy for them.
Yeah, right now we're on that high side you're talking about, where I think next year, 10-7 playoff win. I think we hired the best coach of the offseason out of anyone in the NFL this year.
I mean,
who's better?
Staley.
Sirianni's
lost them some games.
Dude. What's going on?
Sirianni, I would give you an argument for.
Sirianni, Sirianni and MCDC, pretty similar brains too, man.
Yeah.
True.
Different delivery, different, I assume, vice choices.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
If they were to, not that they actually do, but I think if they were to be described as vices, MCDC's would be a little bit different than Sirianni's.
Yeah, I mean, they're 2-11-1. I don't want to, rain on the parade or anything, but they still fucking stink, okay? I mean, he's probably
they
better
beat
than
the Cardinals yesterday.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I mean,
what have you done for me lately?
Yeah, sure. But
Tough Reaction Monday, dude. Lions winning the Super Bowl. Is the Lions?
That's true.
Is Detroit getting a Super Bowl in a couple of years?
Yeah,
They're going to be favorites to win the
might
NFC
turn
North.
it around.
Man.
I don't think any coach with that roster the Lions have could beat the Arizona Cardinals yesterday, except for Motor City Dan Campbell.
Singba.
Cabinda.
Our fifth string running back ran for over 100 yards.
This guy is awesome.
I know. I didn't think that's who you were trying to talk about.
What was his name?
Jason Cabinda.
Cabinda?
Simba sounds
Cabinda.
Yeah.
I fucking love this dude. I saw 45 get in the end zone and I lost my mind. I'm like, it was on a TV below. I'm like, 45 just scored. What is going on down there? You look it up. 9th leading tackler of all time in Penn State history.
Hell yeah.
I love this guy.
Well, you talk about that too. Like, it wasn't just him. Like, for the Cardinals, is it backbreaking when a guy who's wearing number 49 rushes for like 130 yards and 2 touchdowns on you?
There's a lot of bad numbers doing stuff in Detroit, AJ. A lot of bad
That
numbers.
takes its toll on you mentally, I think, Ty. Honestly, if they consistently run on you, yeah, that'll hurt you.
Kyler Murray, walked up that goddamn big high hill to get into the locker room or whatever, to get up in the Detroit locker room. You got to walk up this tunnel. It's up this hill, past people into this tiny little fucking room, tiny little locker room over there, inconveniently placed times 10 over there.
Getting a fight with the Lions, like, because you're both in the same tunnel too, coming out.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Nice.
Kyler's walking up there. We just lost the people. I didn't even know their fucking names. A linebacker scored a touchdown to seal this thing against us. And I got a FaZe Clan meeting tomorrow. They're going to ask about all this shit. Do you think Kyler lost his confidence? No. Is that what happened, you think?
No, he was pissed at A.J. Green, I know, in the one pick. We acted like A.J. needed to come back to the ball more.
Because he made a play, and it involved A.J. Green. And he made
my gosh, that was unbelievable.
Bro, that was a soccer move. So in soccer, when you have your back to somebody, when you're running to a ball, there's big feints, like to get people to go so you can kind of turn the other way. Him running towards his own end zone with a guy on his tail, hitting him with a boom, and that guy, falling basically, turning the opposite direction, throwing it 50 yards to A.J. Green, who somehow pulls it in. It's like those are the type of plays that you see where you're like, well, I'm betting on this guy against anybody. I'm betting on this dude against anybody. And this earlier this year in the run was magical. We were winning off of this. Now it looks like last year again, where my bank account, my FanDuel bank account is just taking a hitting because that one play happens where I'm betting them on, they're going to come back next week.
Yeah.
They're going to come back. I hope they do for the sake of Phoenix. That place was about to be alive out there.
It really does feel like he needs DeAndre Hopkins, which isn't like a shot at all because he's one of the best receivers, in the NFL. But without him, when they played against Chicago, that 4th down, just enough. Fuck it, I'll just throw it up to DeAndre Hopkins down the sideline, and he makes a play.
It's not just that one play. It's a lot of plays.
Yeah.
Big-time
Get
plays.
Larry back.
You don't
think
want-
Larry will come back?
Well,
He's been doing that show.
Yeah.
that's right. What's
But
it?
he's never on it, though.
Oh, yeah.
It's very odd.
Let's go.
Sometimes.
I thought he was a producer.
What do you mean? He's not on it?
It's on it sometimes.
No, I thought he was
Every
in
episode
studio.
I've listened to, he has not said a word. So unless he's just sitting there.
He's a quiet guy.
Hey, that's what people think of AJ that only watch the clips.
By the way,
we're a clip show too. What's up?
you don't want Kyler to do better next week?
Oh yeah, Saturday night. I'm actually potentially going to be in the city of that game.
Oh.
Saturday night game for the Colts though. Sorry about it. Sorry about it, Cliff. Love what you're doing. Merry Christmas, but also Jonathan Taylor's got an MVP to run.
Yeah.
Chandler Jones. There was a photo of Chandler Jones trying to sack Jared Goff yesterday. And if you just saw that photo and said, how's this game going to end up? You're like, well, that guy, Chandler Jones, is going to have 10 sacks on that guy. He's going to have no idea what he's doing. But instead, Jared Goff, fucking Cardinals killer, dude.
Yeah.
Jared Goff, Cardinals killer.
Ever since MCDC took over play calling, Jared Goff has looked like a completely different quarterback. I'm all the way in on Goff now.
So MCDC's calling plays.
He's been awesome.
Offensive genius.
Well, that's what Guru for. He came
Makes
through
sense.
Sean Payton.
That's right.
Came through Sean Payton. And they're fucking shutting out the Bucs without him. Kevin James.
Yeah.
Okay.
My God.
Kevin James.
What?
What?
What about him? What made you think of him now?
Beat the Bucs last.
Well,
What do you mean?
With Sean Payton teaching him football, Kevin
Yeah, that would
James,
be the greatest marketing. They should have had Kevin James on the sideline last night. Because
yeah.
Peyton couldn't go.
I think so, with a headset and everything.
Yeah. I actually saw a lot of people for the overreaction saying that the Saints were pissed they casted Kevin James as Sean Payton, and that's why they played so hard last night.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Sean Payton was casting director.
Was he?
I don't think he would have handpicked Kevin James.
What?
to play him.
Have you seen Hitch, dude? I'd handpick him.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what Billy Bean gets Brad Pitt. Sean Payton's got to be thinking, you kidding me? I get fucking Kevin James. Giving this
Leo,
guy
you think
Brad.
Leo maybe?
Yeah.
Maybe Leo.
Get Leo and some makeup.
Yeah, probably Leo. That's feel pretty good.
I mean, Pitt probably could have done it too.
You're right.
Brad Pitt eats in every scene he's in.
A lot of them.
He's a good eater.
I mean, that Tarantino one, he ate in every single scene.
Yeah.
Actually.
Oceans, yep, he's definitely.
The one with Leo.
The one where they go up to the highway and Manson's doing his thing.
Yes.
Yep.
That's a good movie. I've seen that movie.
That is a good movie.
It's crazy what they did in that pool.
The flamethrower?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's based on a true story, huh?
It's real.
Hollywood's wild.
Yeah, flamethrower was definitely real.
It was.
My wife put out a tweet, #PMS. I don't want to overreact, but she said Tom Brady cares about his Hollywood documentary more than he cares about football.
Oh.
That's what my wife said.
Could be.
I'd like to let everybody know that the opinions of my wife do not reflect that of her husband. She is a diehard Colts fan who loves seeing Tom Brady fail, although she has kind of starting to learn about him via the documentary Man in the Arena. She's starting, I think, to maybe come around a little bit to his greatness, but there's a lot of the Tom Brady hate is still a real thing.
Oh, yeah.
It is still happening.
Jealousy. Tom Brady jealousy.
I agree. Hey, I once was on the record as stating that when a baby comes into the world in the United States of America, they should be shown a picture, the combine picture of Tom Brady. And they should say, hey, listen, this is what you're going to be trying to be for the rest of your life.
That's right.
Biggest league on earth, greatest of all time, wins all the time. He has all the money in the world. He has his own I'm going to live longer than you brand of shit. And somehow he's still incredible. Or is he? Because Kevin James last night, fucking shut him out.
That's right. I did see a lot of people saying, too, for the Overreaction Monday that, you take away all those shiny toys and Tom Brady's playing more like Jared Goff.
No.
I didn't say it.
No, well, you lose your you lose every part of your game plan in that particular week. That could be tough.
Yeah, but, let's remember what Aaron Rodgers did against the Cardinals.
Sure.
Yeah, but that was the entire week they had planned. Well, 2 days they had planned ready for that. Actually, like a day and a half.
Pretty quick turnaround.
Anyways.
How long did that paint job take?
Yeah, so
That
let's
guy.
get back to this Buccaneers fan that I tweeted
Imagine going
about.
home, too.
And I would like to let everybody know that when I tweeted this out, I knew it was a bit wordy, but I thought there's no other way to describe this man that is in full body paint with a bandana on at the Buccaneers game. As an adult, looks to be in his 50s. There isn't one single person on earth who has had a much better day-to-day existence due to Tom's decision to go to Tampa than this man right here. This guy has been fucking painting his body for so long. And ever since Allstott retired, he's been looking like a fucking fool around the neighborhood. And like, how are you still going through 4 gallons of paint every fucking week? Why are you still looking like an absolute stooge every week for this team that stinks? Then Tom has a meeting with Derek Jeter, Gates and all of them. This guy's standing outside in the paint. Tom, please fucking come. I've been wasting my entire existence doing this. Tom comes to town. They win a Super Bowl in Tampa. They're on primetime television. And this man's face painting, body painting ability is being showcased to the world. This dude's life has become so much better since Tom Brady came to Tampa. It could not be put into words, which means when he gets shut out by the Saints, it's a rough night for the fucking pirate painted guy.
Yeah, no, you're right, though. I mean, imagine doing this for 15 to 20 years and you just stink the entire time, and then all of a sudden every camera's finding you when you start winning, and this guy's probably beloved by that fan base now.
Yeah, he's old. You're talking about old creepy pirate paint guy?
Yeah.
Oh, he
I love
comes
that
every
guy.
game. Comes every game. This dude's awesome, AJ.
Imagine if you pulled up next to him, though. If you pulled up next to him at a stoplight and you didn't know he was going to the game, and you see this.
Oh, you know.
Well, for 15 years, a lot of people were asking him what he was doing, because the Bucs weren't really that popular around town. Tom shows up. Now they know. He used to get pulled over in this type of painting. And you're like, sir, are you going to fucking kill somebody? No, I'm just a big Buccaneers fan. Now everybody's like, oh, big Buccaneers fan.
Buccaneers
He's almost
guy.
applauded. Back in the day, he was getting pulled over, arrested, being treated as a potential, threat to society.
Right.
Now it's like, oh, this guy loves the team. Good
Yeah.
for him. I couldn't fathom the family of this guy, but they got to be thrilled that the Bucs are good too.
Oh, yeah.
You think
Oh,
he
Dad's
rolls
going to
his
the
eyes
game
back?
again, guys.
Hey, when he's out of paint, miserable. He lives and dies with the games. Whenever you see him behind the paint, behind the scenes, what you do in the dark will come to the light. This guy is not a lot of fun behind the scenes wherever the Bucs are losing.
You think X Factor might see this guy and pivot and completely paint his whole body and kind of reshape his fanhood with Kansas City?
X Factor does feel like a Florida man.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kind of misplaced in Kansas City.
That's right.
Because he does get accused of meth. He ain't never done meth in his life.
An
Cocaine
alcoholic.
and alcohol, maybe. But it feels like old whites do flock to Florida to retire, and especially that breed of old white. I think X Factor is on his way to Tampa stat. So he could be a paint tag team with this pirate right here.
I think that guy will beat the shit out of X Factor if he shows up at the game. I'm pretty sure. These super fans, word gets out. I'm sure Red Extreme has already tipped this guy out, hey, if you see X Factor down there, do me a favor and knock his fucking teeth out.
Oh, you think it's a territorial game?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You think old Paint Pirate here
Yeah.
has it locked down on one entire end of the stadium?
For sure.
Hey, X Factor, you want to come? You're up in the fucking nosebleeds, pal.
Yeah.
I got behind the end zone on lock, dude.
Why do the
people
Bucs not
talk to
have
each
this
other.
guy watching the game from the crow's nest, though? That's where he should
In the boat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
COVID.
Yeah.
COVID.
Fair.
COVID protocols.
Seems like the safest spot for him.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, why would you not put this guy up in the sales? You know what
Yeah.
I mean? He's a fucking pirate.
Tape
Have
him
him
up
swing
there.
around like the sales, too.
Oh, my God. What are you saying?
Just tape him to the sails and just have him be screaming the entire game.
I don't know.
That's an idea.
That'd be
that's-
sweet.
I don't want to bring an umbrella.
Or put him like the mermaid statue on the front of the boat.
Maybe.
Oh, when those cannons go off, maybe his, maybe he spits, maybe out the.
Yeah.
All right. Shout out to this guy, dude.
Nail him to the boat.
Appreciate it, man. No other show's doing that. I was planning on
I
going.
thought they all covered that.
Well, I was planning on going through that in the after hours, but Zito and Foxy couldn't help it. They had to get it out there. I saw him.
You think he does it himself, though? I would imagine you need help with that.
Yeah, the team. for
Well,
sure.
maybe the team behind the scenes is also pumped that Tom Brady went down there. I should have given credit to more people, potentially because of that fucking Picasso-like paint job he did to his body. That thing goes all the way down lower than his nips, dude.
Yeah.
This dude's taking 10 to 15 hours a game day. This dude's put in more work than the fucking players for the last 15 years.
You didn't see his family?
This is
All
just-
dressed up too.
No way.
No.
No.
No. Yeah. I was about to say, I
Can you
need to
imagine
watch
three
that
little
movie.
kids?
Hey, this
he
guy's the
doesn't
best.
have a family anymore.
Well, that's what I was thinking. There's no way the super fan who commits 12 to 13 hours of his day to painting himself has a lot of time for emotions or feelings towards other humans.
No, not a chance.
Maybe he does. I'm not sure, but it's all about Buccaneers football, baby.
yeah.
It's
We love
December
him.
football, Pirate.
All right.
Love you, pirate.
Thank you, Pirate.
I think he has like a stencil maybe. He just rolls around in it. In
He'll
the
be at the
paint.
boat parade.
Oh, he can't go in, though. The boat parade's quite a predicament because sweat, water,
Yeah.
kind of his Achilles heel.
Yeah.
You know what I
Maybe
mean?
water paint.
The boat parade was the worst decision the Bucs have made for the old paint pirate there.
Yeah.
God damn it. They got to be on the only thing that takes me out. Imagine him swimming, jumping into the river. Tommy, throw me to Lombardi. And then just old fucking standard bald dude looking ass on the other side after all the paint gets off of
Even
him.
though he's fully clothed, he definitely paints his dong all the way from head to toe, right?
think that's a safe assumption.
Yeah.
Is it primetime games or not?
I'd assume.
Is it a primetime game or is it not?
Yeah, if it's late at night, he's definitely painting full body.
Yeah. Just because he's got to get in the character, you know? All right. Let's get to a break.
Sorry, kids. Dad needs his 3.5 hours to get ready for the game.
3.5 hours.
3.5 hours, dude? Have
me?
you ever tried to do anything of sort?
I think he can only go to Sunday night games because it takes him 14 to 15 hours to prepare.
He starts on Saturday.
If he has to, yeah, you're right.
He's got kegs and eggs and paint.
yeah.
So he fills a tub with white paint and just lays in it, and then he gets out and does the.
Oh, so he adds on. So he's like a zebra.
Yeah.
Got it. All right, let's get to a break. We'll be back on the other side, really. Hey, shout out to that guy living his best life.
Shout out. There's Sunday, Thursday, quick turnaround. That man just keeps the paint on.
Well, that's. He's actually. This is a tattoo now.
It's going to have to be.
When the boat parade was announced, the paint pirate said, I got to get more permanent paint. So he sat down for a 75-hour session.
Yep.
Got his entire body painted. And now that's every day, bro. Good for him, man. Happy they're winning.
Yeah.
Imagine if Tom says, see ya, I'm going somewhere else.
That guy.
Oh, no. Take the paint off.
Probably get scurvy.
All right. We're back in 4 minutes. Jesus. Such a good pirate reference. Back in 4 minutes. This is the worst show of all time, but you can make it better on the 5-Hour Energy phone line. 1-833-4-McAfee. Let's wrap up this beautiful December 20th.
Woo! What a win, dude. Beat the Pats, huh? At home, what? Got a little sketchy there at the end, but Jonathan Taylor takes it to the house. What? Let's go, dude. Don't win the Super Bowl. Fucking A, dude. Let's go.
All right, so this is for me to remember for tomorrow, all right? A lot of my tweets are just like, hey, Pat, remember this situation. Joe Hayden just made a fucking massive hit / tackle, okay? On the field, though, it was spotted in a position where it was a potential first down, okay? No timeouts for the Steelers to say, hey, no, go look at that, because under 2 minutes, the review has to come from the top. So I think the refs were told in their ears, like, hey, no. The spot is nowhere near the first down. We just saw the video, but you're in a position where you already spotted it. Now you're calling for a measurement. It doesn't need a measurement. What it needed was a review, and it's not fucking there. So that's kind of how it all happened. You know, once again, has to be a quicker process, more transparent. Let the ref just say, we had it spotted wrong. We thought it was a first down. There's no timeouts. Things are happening quick. Turns out the whole world just saw a fucking replay. It was close, but it was definitely short because Joe Hayden made a huge play. You know, just like that. Boom. And congrats to the Steelers on winning a game. Like, the ref should do all that stuff. Personally, maybe. We'll see.
Hell of a machine.
It's 310J, dude.
Oh, top of the line.
That's when they were singing about being sexy.
That's right.
Yes. The 310J, when somebody saw it, that's sexy, and he was like, the country music, you're right, it is. She thinks my tractor's sexy. Oh, look at that. Hell yeah, dude. Hey, that's got a good cockpit in there. Yeah. Right. Kind of looks like the Pope Mobile with all the glass around the top there, but it ain't no Pope Mobile because this one's fucking breaking grind. Hell yeah.
Party in the front, business in the back, am I right?
Well, I do believe we got business
on
all
both
sides.
ends.
That's right. Yeah, the plot down there in the front is, although a good time. It is a good time to get that thing going.
Fun.
Business is being handled, dude.
Getting plot.
And then on the backside, you know, whenever you start cracking earth.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
You need the excavator back there, the big dog.
And you know the thing about the seat on this 310J, it turns.
Yeah.
It does.
So it's always in the front. You know, whatever you're working on, business can be on the front, both sides.
That's right.
Controls all around.
We worried about those front tires?
No, not at
that's
all.
how they roll.
No, they survive anything.
Those are standard Deere backhoe tires.
Look at the back
Someone like
tires,
you might be worried
Foxy.
about
Yeah, exactly. Foxy.
I'm just asking questions.
Foxy, it ain't about the front wheels. It's always about the back.
That's right.
All right, because these rear wheel powered vehicles that you would never understand.
Yeah, you don't know anything about that, Foxy.
You have no
I
idea.
would not know.
Wake up.
I got friends that know. I don't know.
Listen, when you're drifting gears, okay, on a rear wheel, especially if they're 600 some ponies, you got to watch for like any, you know, plot holes or debris.
Of course.
Because you can and then hit a tree. Because the back end kicks out. and then you won't drive that car ever again. Because how are you not supposed to drift it? And I guess, how are you not supposed to hit another tree?
Yeah, right.
That's my life. Doesn't have to be yours, though. Thank you, Andrew, for calling from the 310J. That's a beautiful piece of machinery.
It is.
Gorgeous. Take that thing another round. Oh, wow. Look at that thing prop itself up.
Lift kit.
That's why the wheels don't matter in the front, pal.
Yeah.
From the hills of Humboldt County, the Dip Heroes have an exciting release for the holidays. A strain that is one of legends.
Hell yeah.
Grab the limited run of Northern Lights, a cross of Agani and Thai that has a sweet and spicy flavor. It is an instant Canadips classic. CanadipsCBD.com, code LIPBOOMERS for 30% off site-wide. Only 3,000 cans available, so get on it fast.
Get on it fast. Shout out to Canadips. Tom Pelissero just put out a tweet that makes no sense to me. No. Welcome back to the show. Welcome back to the show. There's going to be a lot of that probably doesn't make sense. Tom Pelissero, the Arrow, the man that we know, gets the memos from the NFL, puts it through the Neuralink, and has the capability of spouting it out in a tweet that is efficient for everybody to understand. What is it called? It's called high.
Yeah, reading comprehension. Very high.
Very high reading comprehension on the big brain, Tom Pelissero. We appreciate him for it, but he's always representing the NFL. He is tweeting that multiple fully vaccinated, asymptomatic NFL players tested positive for COVID-19 today on the first day of the new targeted testing per sources. So routine weekly testing is over, but the Omicron wave is not. Even without symptoms, some new cases are still being caught. Well, what the fuck is the targeted testing for whenever we were told if you're fully vaccinated and you're asymptomatic, you will not be the ones that are being targeted for testing? Now, there's more people that are asymptomatic that are fully vaccinated that are testing positive. How does that make sense, AJ? Are they saying maybe I have it? Are they saying, oh, I might have had it? That's why they're choosing to get tested and they're asymptomatic? This feels like this goes completely against what we just talked to Ian Rappaport about for the targeted testing going into December football year.
No, I feel like they have this targeted testing to try to, I guess, make people feel better. Like, hey, we are going to still test people, just not everybody every week. But how many people do they target each day or each week? Do we have any idea?
Well, no, the people targeted, actually targeted because they're showing symptoms or they're, in their eyes, not vaccinated, which is the NFL report if you're not vaccinated, you're going to be tested regardless, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. If you are vaccinated and you're asymptomatic, you will not be tested. Now here we have on the first day of that saying that they are being tested and they're testing positive, which means they're going into the protocols, which are the exact same thing we've been dealing with more players. So what did they really agree on? Have we been lied to by Ian Rappaport? Because the NFL, and I think this is why they got to this decision, is if we test and somebody's positive, even though they're asymptomatic, not sick, and fully vaccinated, then we're the ones telling us that we're not allowed to use these guys. They're not the ones telling us they're sick. We're telling them they're sick and they're missing games because of it. This is just reality of the situation. So if we don't test these people who have done everything they possibly can in the media and the science's eyes to not get it, and they're not feeling sick, if we don't test them, we don't know. Therefore, they can play. We can sleep at night, and that's not a bad thing. And we're also doing the smart thing with all the medical parties we're in. Now, the asymptomatic people who are fully vaccinated are still being, what does this mean, dude? I don't understand any of this, dude.
Well, and isn't it like they've a lot of what they've said throughout a lot of this is that there hasn't been any on-field transmission. So that's one of the ways that they've kind of been. But if guys can't, I feel like they said, hey, if guys can produce a negative test, then they're good. But what about these guys who are asymptomatic and can't, like you were, and can't produce a negative test for 10 days? You're in the same situation. You're still going to miss games. You're still I don't know.
We'll have to get
further.
further.
Hope you don't get targeted.
Yeah, but if you get targeted, what is it? You just look like you got it?
No, I think they claim it's random. They just pick and.
Oh, you think it's random? Targeted would be different than random, right?
I get, but who picks the target? I thought, I don't know.
Because it says if they're targeting, they targeted all the guys who are asymptomatic and are fully vaccinated, which wouldn't have been who they were targeting initially, right? Because those guys aren't showing any symptoms and they're fully vaccinated.
Hey, call Rapport back, see if he answers.
What the hell is
She's telling you it's supposed to be random, I think, the targeted stuff.
Well, then it wouldn't be targeted, right? It'd be random then.
I mean, I think the terminology is wrong. They definitely, but yeah, like I don't think they have like a list of guys. Hey, this guy had some sniffles. We got to test him. Like, I don't think that's the case.
You think it's just, hey, come on in. Let's randomly. Oh, because then who's randomly selecting like star
like a metal
players?
detector in TSA beeps every once in a while for random selection. They say.
Yes. By the way, I was in Germany and I was randomly selected. Those motherfuckers got AR-15s.
Yikes!
I mean, that was a very interesting
They
moment.
take you in a back room.
Yeah, kind of like it was curtained off. You know what I mean?
Did they point? Did they point their guns at you while they were patting you down?
No, just there was like three of them. They were all holding it. They were all holding it was like, okay, I don't got anything. I'm trying to get the fuck out of here, dude. Easy. Imagine if I was George Young, though, and they would have caught me and I just had fake bottom carry on with a bunch of... Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, Ian Rappaport. Thank you for making this happen. Ian, what the hell's going on? The Arrow, Tom Pelissero, the memo reader, the news breaker on Twitter just said that asymptomatic, fully vaccinated guys have tested positive for COVID. I thought in the targeting testing, those guys weren't going to be tested. Hey, is this a random testing thing that's happening now?
There are spot testing that is going on. It's basically like sort of survey testing, I think you would say, where like you randomly select individuals to test. Some of those guys end up testing positive. I actually asked Dr. Alan Sills this a couple of days ago when we were on a conference call, and it was basically like, even though it's random, even though just a couple of guys are getting tested, even though that's the case, those guys still go on the COVID list because you have to remove them from their teammates and quarantine and all that.
Who's picking and choosing the randomness of that? Because if some random Omicron variant test happens to a star player on a team that's going against, I don't know, the Patriots, the Cowboys, anything. I mean, the conspiracy fodder would grow insane. Is this just something that was agreed to by the NFL and the NFLPA that we would still do spot testing to try to catch it?
Yeah, I believe it is a machine. It's sort of a computer program / machine. I'm not smart enough to understand how it happens, but apparently it is completely random, based on nothing. And done not by football people, if that's what you're wondering. It's just not like they're going to say, like, okay, let's test Tom Brady today before he plays.
That's what it's setting up for, though. That's what it's setting up for, especially if it's asymptomatic and they're fully vaccinated. And like Stefanski, where he already had COVID before and he has the booster, if he randomly gets selected and you lose your play caller and your head coach, where another team randomly selected was, I don't know, number 50, now it's just setting up for even more shit, isn't it? I mean, sorry, AJ, go ahead, man, but it feels like they're setting up for more shit.
Yeah, Ian, is the NFL and the NFLPA, have they agreed on a number of players that are spot tested each day or each week?
As of Saturday afternoon, when I talked to them about this, they had not yet agreed on the absolute formula. They were still working through it. Now, I assume now they have. Pelissero's tweeting about it now. Let's see what he says.
Yeah, we'll see with the Arrow. It means the Neuralink got sent something from Roger Goodell directly over. Maybe to even answer. Go ahead. What do you say?
He has a bunch of letters. Yeah, that's a lot of letters there. Let's see what he says.
But think about how pissed would you be if Tom Brady gets tested the week of the Super Bowl?
Aaron Rodgers. What if Aaron? Well, he's non-vaccinated. I guess he's immunized though. But you talk about any star player randomly selected week of the Super Bowl, asymptomatic, fully vaccinated, booster, everything like that. That is going to lead to some shit.
I don't think those guys will be tested week of like NFC Championship.
No, it's random, AJ.
No, okay. I think. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I think they probably will. Damn. But now, I mean.
Under new protocols, the NFL's partner, IQVIA, selects players on each team that gets tested. Think of it like having TSA pre-check and getting randomly selected at the airport. So on any given day, a fully vaccinated player with no symptoms could still test positive. Now this IQVIA is potentially going to be determining an outcome of a game because it feels like the Omicron variant doesn't care who gets it, how they get it, what it is. It's just kind of floating around everywhere, right? IQVIA's got a lot of fucking weight on their shoulders over there.
Yeah, I mean, computers have decided a lot of things. They decided national champions in football for a while, and that went well. College football.
You're an idiot. Hey, I appreciate you, Ian. Very busy day. Thank you for answering the phone call again.
Okay, bye-bye.
Hey, Chris Godwin, torn ACL, huh?
Is that what it is?
Yeah, worse than the MCL sprain they thought it was after the MRI. Chris Godwin, torn ACL. I think he had something with his foot too this season, I think was being reported. That guy, just incredibly tough, talented, a weapon for the Bucks, flies around. I think he signed a 1-year deal.
Yeah.
He's gonna be up after this. He will be a desire of many. He's gonna have to come back from an ACL recovery, which is a nightmare. Sorry, but hey, T's and P's, Chris.
T's and P's.
Hey, this spot testing, AJ, sounds like a bunch of bullshit.
Scary. It's pretty scary, isn't it?
IQVIA.
Yeah, who's the founder, president, and what are they like? Whose team are they a fan of?
Yeah, is that up in Massachusetts? We'll assume.
Yeah.
Exactly, probably.
Let's go to that tweet again, please.
Oh, it is Connecticut.
Here we go.
New England thought
Yeah.
it would. That's
Dan-
what,
Danbury,
think of it like
Connecticut.
having TSA pre-check and getting randomly. So TSA pre-check, you don't get. So I mean,
I thought that was the whole point.
yeah, the point of TSA pre-check is that you don't get randomly selected. He's talking about at TSA pre-flight going through. I
Yeah.
think, is what he's talking about, right? Has
Neuralink
to.
doesn't know about flying.
Well, that's making a metaphor to relating to people, and the Neuralink.
He travels through the internet, as we know.
Yeah, but we understand what he's saying. It is exactly what you said, AJ. It's just a allegedly rant. Holy shit. Because who knows how many times you can get this Omicron.
Yeah.
Right? You might be able to get Omicron like 4 or 5 times. We might have Omicron forever, by the way. Yeah. Omicron might just be forever. And if they just pick and choose who they're testing, that is
You could randomly get
wild.
selected then every week almost too.
If IQVIA's numbers come up like that, now that's the NFL's partners, and it selects players on each team that get tested. The IQVIA isn't a part of the steroid testing, I don't think.
No.
The performance enhancing thing, because that doesn't seem to be as random as the IQVIA is going to be determined. There's no Baker Mayfield tonight. He feels 110%. He's our quarterback. There's no head coach of the Browns. He had COVID, got vaccinated, fully boosted, has COVID again. No, he's out tonight. What happens if that happens? This is going to be cause for conversation. I think I am not overreacting to this, although it is Overreaction Monday. I don't know how this was the overall answer, but once again, they're trying to set precedent for the rest of the entire world at this point.
I'd like to make a correction. The sister company is in Danbury, Connecticut. IQVIA, Durham, North Carolina.
Oh. Nice. Look for the Panthers.
Yeah, they might go on a run.
I don't. Yeah.
Less
is
players
just
will test
setting up-
positive, though.
yeah,
We know that since they're not testing all of the vaccinated and just spot testing however many, we know, there will still be positive tests, but there'll be a lot less.
So there's guys, that I've known that whenever the annual testing window for the street drugs would come up, started towards the end of my career, literally 4/20, April 20th, haha, Goodell, hilarious. And then all the way through the first week of training camp ending, and you get tested one time in there. There were some guys that, for whatever reason, I guess didn't understand that, and they would get randomly selected like 2 weeks into OTAs after 4/20. Like, let's say they get selected on May 1st or May 2nd, and they're like, oh, it's going to be close. Like, I don't know, I don't know. They go in there, and it's just a waiting game. Oh, my God, is the next 27 months of my life terrible or not? Because going into every Omicron test, I'd assume every guy's going to shit their pants. Yeah. Yeah, think about like,
I would.
Oh, I might. Oh, they say you could have it. Well, I don't have any sniffles or anything. Like, nah,
Doesn't matter.
still can have it. You can still be out for whatever. It's just, that's going to be a lot of anxiety, I think, going into those tests. You have no idea if you have
Coaches too. All the coaches, I would assume they're getting randomly selected too, right?
Tier 1, Tier 2, spot test or whatever.
Insane.
Biggest league on earth. It's the highest league. It's the biggest league on earth, dude.
Setting up for a shit show.
And how many spot tests? Like, it can't be enough where it'd be like, what's going on right now where 15 to 20 guys test positive and they have to move a game, right? It has to be like 3 to 5 guys.
Yeah. It's got to be, right?
Baker
Is that daily or weekly, though, for those spot testing?
What did Baker I don't know. I have no idea. What did Baker Mayfield just like? You like the video of ours? What's he saying?
So there was...
Why you can't play?
Yeah, there was the clip of you and Rapport talking about the NFL decided you don't need to test if you're asymptomatic and vaccinated. And a fan of the show said, so why can't Baker Mayfield play today? And Baker liked that.
Well, it turns out that's not true either, what Ian told us earlier.
Nope.
Yeah.
Oh, this is Baker's tweet. What are we saying? I don't remember 10 minutes ago. The NFL decided you don't need to test if you're asymptomatic and vaccinated. Only if you have symptoms do you need to test, and they have ramped up the system screening. Yeah, so how come Are we just all learning about the spot testing, you think, at the same time here?
Yeah, it seems like it.
Yeah.
Just changing today? Like, was today the first day?
No, they said it.
Today was the
They
first
talked
day for
about it.
targeting.
The targeted testing, but not the spot testing.
Same. To me, it was the same thing. Like, it sounded random. I knew they weren't. How can they? Yeah, if they want you to self-report, I doubt they're going to stand there and watch you for targeted tests. But I think this guy is suspicious. You can't give people that power. They can shut teams down.
That's legitimately what I thought. I thought targeted testing was self-reporting that you had symptoms.
Imagine having that job, though. If you hated that team, like, oh, Aaron Rodgers, he looks sick every day. Like if you didn't like the team.
Yeah, but I thought targeted just meant they were going to have some direction on why they're testing people. I thought they were eliminating tests. I thought like, hey, if you're not vaccinated, you're going to get tested. If you have symptoms, self-report it, you're going to get tested. I thought that was like the target. Like, what's that?
So in the NFL's article, it says all players and tiered staff will be subject to stringent symptom screening prior to entering a team facility each day before being permitted to enter in order to ensure any symptomatic individual will be tested prior to entering. So they are screening at the door to see
You have
if
to self-report those symptoms, though.
Yeah, but you have to go through a Q&A probably with somebody.
Well, haven't you done that? No, they put it's an app on your phone. They did it in Tahoe a couple of years ago. Before you got on the bus to go there, you had to clear like that protocol. Like, do you have any fever? You've been around anybody? All that stuff, and then they give you a green light, and you go in and then get your temperature and get all that.
Yeah, I've had to do that as well for a couple of different things, but I don't think that is what he just described there, is it?
I'm sending it over.
I don't know.
That's what Rappaport kind of said.
But Rappaport.
Like survey.
I mean, Rappaport didn't tell us anything about these spot testing where we get to IQVIA gets to pick who's fucking playing and who's not playing randomly. I get it. Okay, I get it. It's random. All right, stat that, dude. Let's get to, here's another tweet coming from Tom Pelissero. Multiple fully vaccinated symptomatic players tested targeted tests so routinely. Okay. That was his original tweet. Does he have another one?
Oh, my bad. Hold up.
Zio said there is a follow-up from Tom Pelissero, the Arrow.
God, this shit's
I'm it's a completely different world now.
Yeah.
Anyone who tests positive for COVID-19, regardless of symptoms or vaccination status, must isolate until cleared to return. The new protocols make it more likely an asymptomatic vaccinated individual can return in under 10 days, and some have, but still a hurdle to clear. Oh, man.
So nothing changing. Just more guys are going to test positive.
And now there's more question marks for how the people are getting tested, for why they're getting tested. And there's going to be a lot more people that are going to come out and say, I feel 110%. I had no idea I was potentially sick. Then I get tested. All of a sudden, I'm out for 10 fucking days because I can't produce a negative.
Jesus.
Oh, man. This is not how I wanted to end Overreaction Monday because I don't want to overreact, but this is going to be a lot of conspiracy fodder. There's going to be a lot of conspiracy fodder out of this. It's only inevitable at this point.
Yeah, but I still feel like it's on the players self-reporting those symptoms, though, if they get that targeted testing.
Yeah, spot testing, though, doesn't really give a damn. You know
No,
what I
they
mean?
don't.
Let's get to the phone calls here on 5 Energy Phone Line, hear what everybody's saying. Let's go to Amir in Phoenix. What's going on, Amir?
How's it going, guys? Keep it moving. I want to start off with, I was listening earlier on the podcast, and you guys were talking about the Arian and AB situation. I think there's a lot that's going over people's heads, so I just wanted to give my take and see where you guys stand on that. First being Arian saying that, that was the absolute last time AB gets off the hook, which I think is frustrating a lot of people because if he was going to do something like this, he could have just, never said something like that in the first place. And second of all, what AB did wasn't on the same scale as like breaking a protocol such as not wearing a mask or following other stringent protocols. What he did was a federal offense, an offense that carries potential prison time, and potential fines. So if other people are getting prosecuted for the same, the same consequence or the same issue, and they see an athlete making millions who has, a history of breaking the rules, I think that's where the public gets frustrated. And especially Floria, who used to be a attorney before being on Pro Football Talk.
Okay, Amir, I appreciate you clearing that up, why people would think that. A lot of the people that are mad at, I hate that this is reality. I wish it wasn't. And it's not cool. And we hope it changes. BA was saying whatever the fuck he could say to get through that press conference at the time that he was at. Mm-hmm. Coaches have never done that in the past, obviously. It's the first time he's ever done that, setting a precedent. And I guess getting through that, to his fans to hear like, hey, we are going to keep him on a close eye. Obviously, everything that we have heard is very scary. So BA probably had that in mind. He has also won a Super Bowl since then with Antonio Brown on the team, catching a Super Bowl touchdown and probably seeing the human he is now as opposed to the human he was whenever he was first getting in there. If you do recall, off the field, a lot of different crazy shit happening. I'm not saying he's right or he's wrong. I'm just telling you why Bruce Arians potentially said that. Now, the public image, seeing a federal offense happen by Antonio Brown, I think the NFL is also saying, like, hey, if the government would like to do something here, they can absolutely do that, which has always been the NFL's stance. And actually, my wife and I chatted about this the other day. Like, AB's coming back. There was not even a thought that was potentially a lawbreaker. Now, when you talk about it not being as bad as the protocols being broke, he was being treated as a vaccinated player when he was not a vaccinated player. And I think that is why Roger Goodell was so pissed off, because AB lied to Roger Goodell in the NFL, where somebody like Aaron misled the people in the media. He did not lie to the NFL. Now, granted, all of this is going to be insane to talk about 5 to 10 years from now, okay? That is going to be a conversation down the road. Sarah Walsh actually just tweeted this. Arians, when asked what people may think about the decision to allow Antonio Brown to return to the Bucs after suspension, and Bruce Arians says, I give a shit what they think, okay? Only thing I care about is this football team and what's best for us. Go Bucs. And that's what you need to know anytime you hear anybody from the NFL speak, especially whenever it's talking about a guy whose team just lost one of their best receivers from a torn ACL in Chris Godwin, Antonio Brown coming back, and he didn't cut him 3 weeks ago, because of the success. So I understand where you're coming from, Amir. I appreciate that. I wish our real life wasn't a, hey, be who you can afford to be type situation. In the public being mad about it, I can understand. But as soon as he catches his first 4 touchdowns, I promise you, everybody that's in the Buccaneers faithful and that Tampa Bay team aren't going to have to answer any more questions about it.
No, Bruce Arians said it perfectly when he said it's in the best interest of this football team to bring these guys back. Like, that's, whether he agrees or whatever, he hates him for what he did. He's like, hey, I'm trying to win games. I'm trying to win another Super Bowl. So we're a better team when he's on the field.
Hey, we don't like it. All right? We don't love it.
Which is, I think is, I give BA a lot of credit for being honest and authentic. I love it.
I completely agree. I love the BA. But I'm just saying, in real life, hate that this is the way it goes. Hate that somebody potentially did something that was not right, didn't get punished to the maximum amount in the public size. This is real life. And we'll continue to try to change it. Hey, we'll continue to try to make it better, but I think it was very obvious immediately upon Antonio Brown not getting cut, before his suspension began, that he was not going to get cut when the suspension ended in December football, when he's one of the best football players on earth.
Pretty simple.
Hey, we hate it. We'll be back tomorrow. Chris Mad Dog Russo show will be much better than ours. We promise you. See you then. There is news coming out now that Carson Wentz accuses Matthew Judon of questioning his ability to reproduce.
Whoa.
That's why he got in his face.
Wait, what? Please tell me.
Carson Wentz has got kids. This is coming from the New York Post. Carson Wentz, it's a photo of Carson pushing and putting his finger right in Judon's face. DeForest Buckner had to break that thing up alongside Pascal. And allegedly Carson said Judon is, he's coming after my ability to reproduce or whatever. I don't know what that means, but I like that Judon goes deep. You know what I mean? I like that Judon goes deep, and I like that Carson was like, no, fuck you, actually. How about that? I'm 6'10", 400 pounds, and I'm from the Dakotas, pal. I don't like you talking the way you were talking to me. I like whenever there's a little bit of a beef, a little bit of a skirmish. And I don't mind that old Carl Wentz has 5 completions and isn't scared to go fight somebody.
Yeah, so Judon just called him a virgin, and he basically just lost his mind.
I think he must have called him like a limp dick or something like that. And Carson was just like, I shoot fucking ropes, dude. Yeah. I shoot seeds.
Peter North's got nothing on me.
Yeah, I assume it was something like that.
Had to be.
What if he was like, no, I eat a lot of celery and all that stuff, dude? What if that is what Carson Wentz was saying?
Fuck, dude.
Do you think there was initially a conversation before it got to the yelling and Judon just kept going? No, you can't do it, dude.
No, you don't.
No, you don't. Carson's like, I have 17 children.
Nope.
I know, no, you can't do it.
They're not yours.
I can, dude. And then he did the whole thing.
Yeah.
You just did, and then inevitably, June was like, that just ain't you, Carson. Sorry about it, pal. You just can't do it. And you motherfucker. Carson Wentz. I'm sorry, Fudger. He got
it.
Of course. Although he might have swore, because he was very mad.
No, Carson ain't swear.
Huh? I don't know.
I mean, what could he have said? Like, if you said he was going after like my ability to reproduce, is he kicking you in the balls? What's going on? No, he said something.
I thought it was a punch to the dick. Yeah. Is what it was all happening. Now the New York Post is saying, no, he's questioning his ability to reproduce. You got infertility, dude. Judon saying that.
I guess. Oh, there it is.
Didn't need to go into specifics, obviously, but when a man's ability to reproduce is being in question and there's some other extracurriculars, guys' hands need to be at their sides, Wentz said via the Indianapolis Star. Let's just say that when that happens, you can get pretty riled up. Wentz said it was as dirty a play as he's ever seen. I don't know if I've ever been that fired up on a football field, Wentz said. Judon claimed not to know what Wentz is talking about. I don't know. Judon said, leave it out on the field. Carson's a good guy. He got mad about something. Who knows? And I guess that
sounds like a dick tap was involved.
Yeah, smacked him in the nuts and said, you won't need these or something like that.
Yeah. Hey, I don't know, dude. I don't know. I left it all on the field, though. Carson's a good guy. Good luck to him, dude. And then Judon just walked.
Yeah, so Carson's saying there was a dirty play where someone made contact with him, not words.
Yeah. It wasn't that he thought he couldn't reproduce. He was trying to make him not reproduce anymore. And he said everybody's hand should be at his side. So what's that? That's a hand to the dick, right?
Yeah, maybe just a nice
That's a punch.
Or
You ever do
grab
that?
it, a twist.
Did you? Maybe, yeah. Did you?
I hope
just
not, but I mean, if Carson said as dirty as a play as he's seen or whatever, like I'm sure you've seen guys get punched in the balls, so I would think you got to one up that.
Yeah, so maybe he took the scissors that are being found on everybody's field these days, and maybe he stabbed them.
Oh.
What did he do? You know, I've only been in the bottom of one of those piles. It was against the Cowboys, and I think I've told this story before. I kicked off. There was a fumble. I was close enough where on film I had to go into the pile on film to have any type of respect in the room. And that was back when people would just pile on. That was before the ref rules that were made where, hey, if the pile's already there, you cannot join it. I jumped in so much so I got my hand on the ball at one point. I had my hand on the ball. I'm like, oh shit. Now what do I do? And immediately felt like my arm get punched. My arm started getting punched and hit. And I'm like, oh no, I am somewhere I should not be right now. At the bottom of a pile, there's some sketchy shit that goes on. I assume you lived under there, huh? And with the way your brain works, you probably did none of the sort. You were probably super morally correct at the bottom of those piles and everything like that.
The truth about it is, though, like the bottom of the pile is like usually within a second, like possession is like you know who has the ball, so everyone else is trying to get in there and get it, but the refs already see who fell on it. But no, I wasn't credit card swiping anybody or doing any of that stuff they talk about. It does suck though when you can't breathe. You're under there though, especially if your arm is up, like you said, if you have an arm or two up reaching for it, and all of a sudden you're smashed by 7 different dudes on top of you. That's the worst. Like, it feels like it takes a month for them all to get up.
Well, I felt like little rabbit punches to my forearm too, you know, because I think a guy had the ball clearly, and I just so happened to have my hand on it, you know. So he probably saw that as he's getting crushed. That dude's getting fully crushed in full pads. The claustrophobia. I don't know. Like when somebody does something good and then their team tackles them and they're at the bottom, I'm always like, worst fuck, from the best thing in the world to the worst thing in the world being underneath there. But I think old buddy had the ball and I just reached my hand in there and all of a sudden I started feeling like boom, bang. I'm like, get me the fuck out of here. We did not get the ball. We did not end up with the ball. I believe they did. But that was my only time under there. Is that what he's talking about? Something though under there, huh? Something underneath.
Gotta be.
Yeah, maybe a couple fingies.
How about Judon? I don't know what he's talking about, man.
It could have been incidental too, though. You never know. Like, what if someone accidentally elbowed him directly there?
Well, hands to the side, I guess.
Yeah, it was a situation. It was, I believe, like 2 different dudes sacked him. Like it wasn't just Judon. I thought.
Judon.
He's mad about something.
He's pretty angry. I guess it was at me. All right, let's go through some more overreactions from around the Twitterverse, and let's get the hell out of here. We got 2 football games tonight. Okay, let's go through some more overreactions. I absolutely love those. I'm going to continue to spotlight more of them because I appreciate everybody that makes their enters. And Ty, thank you for going through them all.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Mac Ziller.
Oh, no.
So it's Z Mills 4.
So Zach Miller. This is one of those. Hey,
This
let's
is classic
flip.
Matt McAfee.
Yeah, there it is.
Bingo.
Yeah. Hey, my dude Zach, though, hey, he don't fuck around.
Nah.
Z Mills, dog. You should have seen him in high school.
Oh,
Z
number
Mills.
4.
Oh, they used to pass him the ball in a basketball game. It was.
Average double-double senior year.
Oh, my God, Z Mills.
Marv was his favorite
Where
player.
at? Where did he play?
Hashtag PMS, some high school. I don't know.
Sheboygan.
In Arizona.
Hashtag PMS, I don't want to overreact, but Cards are dead without Hop. Could lose the next 2 games against the Red Hot Colts and the Cowboys. Maybe Cards missed the playoffs.
Whoa.
Oh, my God. This guy's on Camelback Mountain over there in Arizona saying, God damn, our team stinks. What does happen to the Cardinals? They very easily could lose to the Colts. Now, granted, they could turn it on at home, although that has not been their strong point at playing at home or whatever, and maybe they turn the tide back around. No D-Hop, though, is an outlet that I think Kyler Murray needs in the way he plays. And this team, I hope they get back on track because I absolutely love the city of Phoenix and I love the Cardinals and I think they're cool and they're a lot of fun to watch. But this is late in the season and it looks like they're going the wrong way. But also the Buccaneers got blanked last night, I guess.
It feels like it's setting up for the man, the myth, the legend, J.J. Watt to kind of come back and possibly rescue the team. Yeah.
Oh, J.J. Watt! I am back!
What?
Our team has without me! Oh, J.J. Watt!
When can he come back?
Not soon! Oh, my God. All right, let's go to another one now. I think we got everything we could out of that. Brett Dobson at Dobson_Brett. Feels like a lot of people have made Twitter accounts just to tweet us. Pretty standard tweet names coming from, Twitter gifted names. What's your name? Brett Dobson. Perfect. How about Dobson_Brett? Got it. I need to enter this giveaway. I need to enter this overreaction. And we can't thank people enough who send us a lot of tweets that say, only have a Twitter to fucking do your bullshit.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. Hashtag PMS, I don't want to overreact, but the Colts are winning the Super Bowl. I don't see one team right now that can stop JT and produce enough on this defense to beat the Colts. I agree, Brett. You got a front row seat to it this weekend, Connor. Your thoughts?
The Colts are a damn good football team, but also because of Carl Wentz and the way he plays, there was still a chance for the Patriots in the end. You won't know.
Guy was getting his dick ripped off.
Sure. But was he getting his dick ripped off when he threw that pick in the fourth quarter during the only time where they should have been running the ball the entire quarter? It made no sense what they were doing.
Yeah, there's a lot of decisions that are still being made, and they'll figure it out. But I didn't know this guy's, sausage was getting made.
Sorry, it's football. It's a violent game.
I actually think you got to be jacked up if you see this. I think that's all it takes. Someone tug on his penis like a balloon animal, gets his piss hot, and he goes out there and gets ready to play football.
It ain't a goddamn giraffe, all right? Golly.
So who does that for him in warm-ups now to get him pissed?
DeForest Buckner.
He threw a pick after this. Let's keep him. You know what I mean? DeForest Buckner.
He's probably going to tie his penis to a bobcat at home this week and have a fucking tug on it a little.
A Darius Leonard punch, maybe.
Got to strengthen this thing up a little bit. It's too weak. Oh, jeez. All right, let's go to the next one, obviously.
Hey, Darius, come punch me in the dick real quick. I want to get ready for this game.
Who we got this week? Judon?
Yeah.
All right. All week, you know what we got to start?
Like that video of the dude who's just standing there and he's just getting kicked in the nuts.
Yeah.
They'll just do that before every game.
So that's what you got to do when you play the Patriots now.
Yep.
That's what Carson has learned. All right.
If he falls behind, though, it's going to be weird watching him stand on the sidelines just punching his meat as hard as he can.
Yeah.
The whole team.
All right, boys.
Gotta get this rally caps, guys. Here we go.
Hey, who's going to get my dick ready today?
All right. Let's go to @Pack FXIG. What is this?
Who knows?
Hashtag PMS, I don't want to overreact, but the Buccaneers are dead and there's nobody to stop the Packers on their way to the Super Bowl. Is this even an overreaction? Pack FX, obviously a massive Packer fan. They're pack fixing to go to the Super Bowl. Yeah. I agree, AJ. Watching the Packers play, it's awesome to see, special teams are a problem.
Yeah.
They got to fix special teams.
They won't.
But offensive and defensive wise, you think to yourself, oh, that's a team that could go on a Super Bowl run right there.
Yeah, wouldn't you say if you had to pick a team that you trust to win a game, it would be the Packers right now?
Collision course with that Niners team. That Niners team, with how hot they are, in my head, if you're picking teams in the NFC right now, I think Packers and Niners seem to be the teams in the last few weeks that make us go, oh, they might be around for the long haul here, which is crazy because we hadn't talked about the Niners in so long because the NFC West was so good. They had the Trey Lance experiment going on. They didn't have anybody healthy. Now they're back to full and all systems go. So congrats to the Niners for doing that. And I think, you got the Bucks. It sounds so ridiculous, and I think D-Bud even said this earlier, but with all the good players they have, I just have a feeling that they'll still be able to show up when it matters. But that might not be the right way to look at it because there's a lot of good players on a lot of fucking teams.
As a Packers fan, though, that is still the one team where it's I feel good about the Packers, especially at Lambeau, being able to beat anybody. But I think the Bucks still give them the toughest test.
See, but the Niners would be the team in Lambeau you should fear, it feels like, because they can block, run. They could stop. Like that feels like a team, but
I feel like this Packers defense though is much different than it was, in that NFC Championship a couple years ago, where the Niners just ran it down their fucking throats.
I do. And by the way, congrats to Aaron for tying Brett's 442 touchdowns as a Packer. So there's a guy bent over, something nail. I guess he had 5 touchdowns, and I didn't include him in the tweet.
Oh, I don't see him.
Yeah, me neither. But Packers fans who know the team much better than I do gave me a little, what are you doing here? Those two really good at football. Really, really good at football. Yeah. Those two. Only 2 Super Bowls. Maybe, hopefully, more on the way. But what an unbelievable accomplishment. And he only threw, 19 interceptions or 30 interceptions, and Brett Favre threw 155 or something like that.
Absurd.
In the time of getting there. It makes no sense how, and no offense to Brett, that number was obviously exaggerated. Shout out to you, Brett. But it makes no sense how careful Aaron is with the ball. Because he has that gunslinger mentality, too. He's taking shots, and it makes no sense, I don't think. And I think that's something people will study for a long time.
They should. I mean, it feels like even though he's squeezing balls into super tight windows, he's not taking chances with it. He knows, he's calculated, he knows he can make that throw. And I was telling somebody yesterday when they were talking about Aaron, I was like, if you look at it, though, the most impressive thing is his touchdown to interception ratio. He throws no picks and just throws tons of touchdown passes. That's pretty difficult to do.
Well, the ball is the program.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The ball is the program everywhere. That's why we knew Jameis wasn't going to get a deal, because nobody will be able to pay Jameis even after he had all the yards and all the touchdowns. You give the ball away like that. The ball is the program. We can't win. Aaron somehow has found an incredible balance of being cerebral, aggressive, and incredibly smart with the ball. It makes no sense at all. He's shaping shots with his throws, turning them around people. It's a fucking awesome thing. And I don't want to bring this up. He's loving playing ball.
That's right.
He's loving playing ball. This guy's loving ball.
Aaron has 93 interceptions. Favre has 288.
Yeah. So, I mean, you exaggerate a little bit, but he's thrown about 200 interceptions less than Favre did.
Jesus. Pretty good. Same mentality, though, of taking shots. Because normally those are, he's turning the ball over. Yeah, but he takes a lot of shots. It's risk reward. With him, it feels like there is risk, I guess. But it doesn't feel like it. And this has been a consistent thing here for 16 years. It's not just this is his. That couple years ago, Matt LaFleur's first year in the offense with him, and everybody's talking about down years, and he gave that electric quote, down years for me, your career. I think he had 3 picks or something like that, 20
I think he
touchdowns.
threw 26 touchdowns and 2 picks that year.
Yeah, it's what the hell is wrong with this human being? How's it happen? He's got great weapons. He's obviously enjoying the offense, knows a lot about it, has a lot of input. But some of a bitch just puts the ball wherever the fuck he wants to.
Yep.
He's throwing darts out there, dude.
Oh, yeah.
And Devontae. That one that he missed, that route Devontae ran was absurd.
So they had him on that. They had 2 people on him down the goal line. I'm going to ask him about it tomorrow. I asked the question, was there any chance the ball was going anywhere else? As soon as he lines up and he sees Devontae with I forget what number, 17 was on him. So that means he's young. Yes. The number it's a young number because he didn't have to buy all the jerseys to change his number into that. So he's young. He's kind of putting a circle on himself. Those single-digit numbers, it's that's a rookie there because they didn't have to buy out all the old jerseys that the NFL made them to change their number. Then you also have a safety sitting on the inside there. Was there any thought that anybody else was getting the ball at that? Watching that game was this is a fucking touchdown to Devontae. And then LaFleur to Devontae. There's 2 people on you allegedly. It's just they are a tag team. It's unstoppable.
Think of the trust they have in each other. The trust that Aaron has in Devontae. When he came on here, was it last week when he's it wasn't really the exact route, and Devontae just he took off and he saw something, and the trust to do that. A lot of people don't have that, and Devontae is obviously super special in what he can do, and Aaron loves having him. That's why it'll be interesting too. What's Devontae going to do next year? When does he make a decision?
Well, I assume it's to say he's loving ball too. I assume.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? I assume he's loving ball. Think about. I don't know if everybody knew that Tom Brady and Gronk were a package if they were to come somewhere.
Man.
And AB was also in there. Could you imagine a team being not the Packers, obviously. Packers. Winning. They look like they're going to go and run.
That's right.
Sure.
Things are good. Making moves. Good Kuntz listening. I mean,
loving
feels
ball.
all good. Loving ball. All right, but there is a conversation that's happening actually about guaranteed money and contracts that should take place at some point. Imagine if other teams knew or thought, so if we get Aaron, we get Devontae as well. And if we get Devontae as well, there's probably going to be some other older vets that are going to want to come here and potentially play. There's a lot of people, I assume, licking their chops for the chance to pitch Aaron, and all Aaron's doing is just fucking slicing and dicing people and potentially winning a Super Bowl for the franchise.
You're going to need a lot of cap space.
Yeah.
A lot of cap space, because I think Devontae...
$202 million.
Yeah.
$208.2 million.
But if Lombardi thinks that Rodgers is going to be the first 50 a year guy, Devontae's been kind of underpaid. I mean, he hasn't really got a massive deal yet. So,
hey, does Aaron want the most money ever? You think? Have you ever talked to him?
I don't think that's anywhere near the top of anything he cares about.
I don't think so either, because everybody during the offseason, remember there was a conversation. Cannot Gutekunst and Murphy just throw a bunch of money at him and end this thing? And it was like, I don't think that's what this is at all. But money always matters because you're putting a number on how much you appreciate or respect what they're doing, and money's being made as a whole. So the people that are, doing the job should make some money. But I don't think he has the mindset. I might be wrong. You know him a lot better than I do, but I don't think that is.
No, I think from talking to him for 2 years now, every Tuesday, like that's not. I don't think that even crossed his mind really. If the money isn't about the money, it's more about probably respect and how they value him.
God, hey, him and Tomlin,
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Okay, we still got plenty of time left.
Pittsburgh needs a veteran wide receiver. Devontae would probably.
Imagine what it'll do for Freiermuth.
Chase Claypool, by the way, gets a chance to have Devontae in there.
Deontay.
Oh my God! And then the defense is going to have TJ on there. Oh, Naj out of the backfield and catch.
But they got to pay.
Holy shit! Imagine the Yinzers losing their fucking minds for this Butte County, California hippie that has this grit that just comes in and fucking slices and dice. I don't think it's going to happen. Seems like he's going back to Green Bay.
He's coming home.
These are all hypotheticals. But
Colts have the 6th most cap space next year.
They got Carson, dude. They love Carson.
Okay, well, I think we should maybe have a conversation though about it. It's Overreaction Monday, at least.
I don't know.
Let's talk about it.
Oh, you don't want to mess with Carson's confidence.
Yeah,
Carson's pissed right now.
Carson, it's not about confidence right now. It's about Carson energy. It's a mood. It's a vibe. It's his dick. It's his pride. You know what I mean?
They're going on a run though.
Who?
The Colts.
He fought through some adversity.
Imagine if the Colts meet the Packers in a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Then let's just say, for this particular hypothetical, Aaron wins.
Okay.
And then the offseason, Chris Bauer goes, hey, thanks for what you did. That's a shame, but come on and just win one with us. We got whatever you want, dude. We'll build you a whole facility here. You know what Irsay does? He does whatever you want. Come on in. There's going to be a lot of that out there, I think. And he said, who was it that said it? Maybe it was Chris Collinsworth or Al Michaels said, he doesn't want this to carry on for a long time. He kind of wants to get it settled and done with. It's like, what an exhilarating week or two that's going to be.
Yeah.
Hey, we should try to have him document that week. I assume it's going to be pretty absurd.
We should go live from his house every day.
Ooh.
In Malibu. He said he's redone it since I saw it on
yeah.
TMZ.
Mm-hmm.
You remember that, AJ? He said he's redone the whole place.
Yeah, I mean, isn't Ty supposed to stay out there?
Oh yeah.
At some
It was
point?
last offseason.
Yeah, COVID kind of got in the way.
Well, and also all the waterfalls in Hawaii.
Yeah, sure.
You know what I mean? Why you got to be in Malibu if you're singing Taylor Swift and Oahu, dude?
Right.
What do you think the Niners are going to do with Trey Lance if Jimmy G and the Niners do go on a run?
So, and what if Trey Lance stinks?
Yeah.
Which we don't know. Every rookie quarterback could stink. We have no idea. But the Niners go on a run. This is exactly what Lynch and Shanahan said. They said when Jimmy G's playing, we win. When he gets hurt, we're fucked. So we're getting a quarterback. So if he gets hurt for the future, we have a plan for Jimmy, although he's not owed any money next year, I don't think. He's owed next to money. Guaranteed money is very off. He was 20-some million this year. I don't think any next year. There's a lot of big-time decisions to be made. Jimmy G would probably be sought after a little bit, I guess.
For sure.
His dead cap is 1.4 next year. He is under contract for he'd be 27 million if he was on the team.
And just like last year, I assumed they were going to cut him. Hey, we traded a bunch. We moved up here. He cost us $25 million. Instead, they're much smarter than I am. Jimmy G's leading them down the stretch here to a potential playoff run, which is massive.
You could still have both of them. I mean, it's not like Trey Lance is getting paid that much.
Yeah.
Just continue to kick the can down the road here.
Just like, what did Mahomes start after, 1 year or 2 years?
1 year.
I looked at those photos of Aaron and Brett when I Googled Aaron and Brett. And there were some photos where Aaron's like taking notes for Brett. Think about how many touchdowns were lost out on by the greatest thrower of the ball, Aaron Rodgers, because he was backup to a GOAT for 3 years.
Yeah.
That would have never happened in the modern day.
No.
3 years of sitting behind somebody, that's a fucking eternity, dude. That's an entire career for some people. He sat there learning, and then he explodes in and absolutely crushes. In learning, I'm saying he's probably at some point was getting pretty antsy and pretty bored, I'd assume, even though he couldn't really be there publicly because of the human and character that Brett Favre was. And there was a little bit of energy. I'd assume that's the case whenever Brett Favre has to watch this new shiny young toy for years and years throw balls into buckets from 50 yards out with like the absolute calm and coolness of him. But I would assume there were some things that Aaron learned in that time that helped him immensely. Maybe that'll be able to happen again with Trey Lance, because if they have success, they have a lot more room to be patient, right? AJ?
Yeah, if anyone could do it, the Niners could. They could carry him and carry Trey Lance for at least 2 years before you give him a chance to start. But yeah, the fact that Aaron sat for 3 full seasons before he became the starter, I don't think we're going to see that again.
Well, with a Mount Rushmore too.
Well, obviously, yeah, with a guy at his. I mean, I don't know if there is anybody at his caliber, but
Well, he mentioned it on the show too. Like then after that first year that he started, they drafted a quarterback in the second round. Like thinking Brian Brom. Like thinking maybe
Out of Louisville.
Yeah.
Hey, he came in when Louisville came into the Big East. Big Bad Brom and Petrino.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they were supposed to be us. 3 overtimes it took us my freshman year. We beat them. No big deal. Go and win Sugar Bowl. Get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. Brian Brom was a player, though, dude. He used to sit back in that pocket.
Hey, where's Petrino right now? He's coaching somewhere, isn't he?
I'd assume he's coaching somewhere, yeah.
Missouri State or something.
Hey, just real quick, shout out to Jacksonville State. Rich Rod's down there. They just moved into the
Conference USA.
Conference USA. Let's go ahead and bet on their over, whatever the win-loss record is for Jacksonville State. Rich Rod's going down there, and he's the head ball coach down there.
Let's go.
Okay.
I didn't know Rich Rod's head ball coach down in Jacksonville State. He's head ball coach down there. I can't wait. That means he's going to get jobs again, right?
Mm-hmm. And they just beat Florida State.
What happened when I interviewed him whenever he was coaching Ole Miss? What did he say? He said, I thought about, retiring and hanging it up, but after everything that happened, I think I got a fucking another 10 years or so. Like he was,
he's young still, right?
Yeah, and he is one of the most competitive humans I have ever encountered. And his brain for offensive football is very good. Obviously, everything you're seeing now, he has been doing for decades at this point. So he's only going to continue to evolve. And he still gets pissed, I think, when they lose. So, I mean, that's a driver. That's a motivator. You know what I mean? And at Jacksonville State, I think he'll be able to bring in whoever.
Mm-hmm.
Look for them to go on a run, dude. I'm serious.
Bless you.
Bless you.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Jeez.
Does that count as symptoms?
Am I getting targeted?
Yep.
Those days are gone because of Omicron. Look what you've done, fucking Omicron. Hey, somebody said that it was weak. Somebody that had a blue check mark put out a tweet that the Omicron variant is weak.
Whoa. Wow. Everyone says it's weak.
Yeah, but, I mean,
But it's transmissible, but it's easy to pick
I
up.
also saw that it could combine with Delta.
That's the one.
Super
it's
variant.
so weak, but it's so weak that it could combine with Delta and make
malleable.
a super variant.
So Omicron is like an anytime touchdown Jonathan Taylor added to a parlay.
Oh.
Like if you add Omicron into any other variant, it does boost the odds pretty good.
Right.
That's what everybody's saying, is that Omicron is now a parlay booster.
Yeah, what we do here, we just trust the science like we have for the past 2 years, and we'll get through this.
Yep, that's what everybody's doing, Gumpy. That's what everybody's doing. All right, let's get out of here. We got 2 Monday
I like
night.
Gumpy's tone.
Well, Dolphins are winning, too. I mean, that's
right.
his tone when the Dolphins are winning.
Wait, is Christmas still on?
Fauci was trending today again.
Oh.
He's trending, giving his opinion again. He got quiet there for a bit. You know?
Oh, you remember why he was killing dogs?
What?
I do recall that now. That you say.
So this,
They had bags.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then everything that happened, and he disappeared for 20 years, just came back for this virus after not fixing the last virus.
Oh, jeez.
Hell of a run. Hey, trust the science. Fauci knows. He knows.
Well, he is currently trending yet again because he said something about the Omicron.
Yeah.
I bet he did.
If you have Christmas, just make sure they're vaccinated. Check their cards at the door.
Fauci's been doing this bullshit since 1983.
Whoa. We don't know if that's true. You don't know anything about Well, you do. We know a lot about him now. We know a lot about this guy all of a sudden. Anyways, let's just trust the science and let's get on to Aaron Rodgers Tuesday tomorrow. We need to ask some Dr. Joe Rogan's appeal, into making football players better, maybe.
Yeah.
Right.
Because since Aaron Rodgers is Dr. Joe Rogan visit, best quarterback to ever play football.
Yeah. Also, since Dana got it, UFCs have been very good cards.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
Dr. Joe Rogan, maybe. I mean, I'm not saying it because I didn't experience it myself, but I think the Dr. Joe Rogan method really does potentially kick the shit out of COVID. Maybe we should. No, it's horse paste, though. Get the fuck out of here. Why are you taking that barn animal stuff, dude? Oh, you're testing negative in 2 days, though. That's fucking bullshit. You're a loser.
You're a loser.
That's what the internet's saying, dude.
For testing negative, you're a loser.
Bro, I was so confused during that entire thing. I guess we're learning more and more now, obviously, and the new angle is, well, that's so expensive, not everybody can do that. It's like, okay, if that was the original claim about everything that all these rich white people were doing to get out of this quickly, I would have been cool with it. But acting like they're all the dumbest people on earth and they don't know what they're doing, I think that was a bad angle to begin with, because since the beginning of time, we've thought these rich whites have access to shit that we don't. Then all these rich whites are doing the same thing. And that's fucking idiots they're doing. It's like, oh, when did this happen? I thought we were trying to, fuck these dudes. But no, instead they're not doing it right. Maybe they're not doing it. What do we know? We don't know shit about fuck.
Nope.
Ain't that right, AJ?
We do not, but there's a lot of people out there that absolutely seem to know everything. So,
how does that happen?
Great question.
Oh, it's because that bias side that you were talking about earlier.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, it's like anything else in the world right now. Like you gotta listen to people, no matter where you're dug in. You should probably listen and then form an opinion.
Well, and then even once you form an opinion, go ahead and don't be scared to evolve.
Just make sure you don't sit in the middle. You can't sit in the middle, either one side or the other.
Yeah, and you must be full go.
Yeah, no sitting in the middle.
Must
no
be
listening.
full go. Yep. Especially on Overreaction Monday. Sounds like the COVID protocol testing did change for the NFL, but did it? Who's picking and choosing who's going to be positive? IQVIA.
Uh-huh.
All right. Let's have an NFL season. We got 2 games to bet on. AJ and I picked differently on one of the games. I got the Vikings.
Yep.
You got the Raiders. We both have
Bears.
I got the Vikings. You got the Bears. We both have the Raiders.
Yes.
Bingo.
Yep.
All right, cool. All right, see everybody tomorrow. Hammer
Dahn
starts in 15 minutes at youtube.com/hammer
Dahn.
Thank you to Ian Rappaport for joining us a couple times. Thank you to Darius Butler for stopping by. And thank you to all the boys for your incredible effort. And everybody that watched at youtube.com/the Pat McAfee Show. Be a friend, tell a friend. We're back, Mignana. Cheers.